success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
No Shave November is raising awareness of men's health and prostate cancer. Limitless Male wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of scattered showers with patchy fog. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a high around 47. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies and calm winds, a low near 34. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies return with light winds. It'll be warmer with a high near 63. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into Old School 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. As always, Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. A rainy, overcast day here in the capital city. That's all right. We will hope to brighten your afternoon, your drive time home with some of Lincoln's best sports talk. 402-464-5685 if there's anything on your mind. Jay Foreman, welcome in to Old School.
What's going on?
You and Farley still beefing? This is like daily now.
Man, he pop up on everybody like a Pop-Tart, man. I'm having a conversation, trying to have a conversation with somebody, and there he comes, standing there. But it's all good. Nah, Farley's my boy, man. It's always good to see him every once in a while.
Which is, again, pretty much every day.
Yeah. It's the T. Farley experience.
You see Farley more than you see the Mercado, but probably not by much.
Yeah, not by much. And Farley says he can grill, but, I mean, does he look like somebody that can grill? Let's be honest. He's not listening.
I'm sure Farley could cook. Grill, I'll need to see the work.
Everything he does,
check the homework.
He's suspect at best.
At best.
Yeah.
Again, 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Jay, let's just dive right into it. Nebraska and Penn State inching closer and closer. That'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night between the Huskers and the Nittany Lions. Let's start with Nebraska. What's still on the table for Nebraska to accomplish the rest of the year? 7 days left in the season from today till next Friday, Black Friday, of course, after Thanksgiving.
The season will probably be over about a week from today.
Almost exactly 168 hours from now. Nebraska's season, we will we'll know what it's like. What's still on the table for Nebraska to accomplish here in the next 7 days?
Oh, you can. Well, number one, you can get a helmet sticker game. That's Penn State. A blue blood win. If you don't know what helmet sticker game or win is, you potentially can win 9 games. Obviously, you can't win 9 without winning 8, and 8 would hopefully be tomorrow. And then obviously you're going to get in a more high profile bowl, and everything that you had said in the offseason, obviously, besides the obvious, being in the college football playoffs and everybody picking you to be a sneaky pick based on the schedule and what you had coming back, you actually have, by the record, you've shown, a lot of improvement. Now, you can move the goal line and say the schedule, so forth and so on. But if you're mature enough to and have the maturity and leadership to where you're able to win these next 2 games, you're showing, some signs that you're really moving in the right direction, which they already are, but you might be a step or 2 farther than, people perceive you to be right now. And then going into the offseason, it should be more than the standard. I guess everybody's expectations, the non-negotiables have to be raised. So it's a good thing. You don't want to go the opposite way because then I'll drum up all the ghosts of the past and everybody else's problems that now are your problems. And so really, there's 2 things they have to do. One is go out there and play well. And playing well is obviously, playing hard and playing together. All that stuff goes into it. And obviously you want to win. And then, aesthetically, you want it to be somewhat pleasing. And so, as long as the effort's there, physicality's there, and then obviously they are making the plays that they should be okay.
0326 says back-to-back road wins is on the table. Of course, we had this discussion earlier in the year when Nebraska went from, Maryland to Minnesota about not winning back-to-back games on the road in consecutive weeks in conference play for 19 seasons, dating all the way back to 2006. Can't snap that streak necessarily because of the bye week in between. But either way, Jay, if Nebraska is able to take its show on the road to Happy Valley, stop the run consistently for 60 minutes of football and find a way to get to 8-3 with a road win at Penn State this time of the year, bye week or not, winning back-to-back road games in a Power 4 conference and really one of the top 2 in the Big Ten, almost regardless of who you play, that's not nothing. That's at least a little something.
Yeah, I mean, you got to, make your way or make your hay based on what's in front of you. You can't, dictate who you play, because on the flip side, when the schedule like next year is really, really hard, the schedules are for quite a few years of circumstances of like when you play teams back to back and what type of teams you play back to back, whether road or home, haven't been favorable. But if you're able to, get 9 wins and obviously, you got to start with 8. Let's just say, can you, the most important game is tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
You're moving in the right direction. You're showing tangible improvement even more than what you've done up to this point. Back-to-back road games is something that you can really, hang your hat on. You kind of check that off. I didn't even know that was the deal, but obviously when you go 3-9 all the time, I guess, you're not
anything becomes the deal.
Anything becomes the deal. And so, look, it's onward and upward, and you got to look at it to where, obviously a lot has been with, Lane Kiffin and stuff, and he was able to kind of, turn Ole Miss around a little bit quicker than most. But, they had that dip in that 2022 when they went 8-5.
Well, that's the team that started 8-1,
right?
And derailed.
But still, you're still 8-5 after being 10-3,
mm-hmm.
and something was missing, and then he comes right back and gets it back going. And so, when he comes in, you see constant, really, drastic improvement. 5-5, 10-3, 8-5. Okay, now is he really for real? Obviously, he had the rumors with Auburn and other coaching vacancies. So even like at Tennessee at one point, which was crazy, just considering how he left there. But then, then he's able to get it back on track. And so, there's not a direct comparison to it, but it does take a little bit of time. But Nebraska's time is now. And the reason why it's now is just because of circumstances around college football. But, you have to mature. You have to be able to defeat the odds. Not everything's. You're never going to be able to play on your circumstances. You're never going to be able to play at the ideal time. So all that stuff, all that talk, all that stuff cannot ever be a topic of discussion. You know, and sure, you know, the quick turnaround, whatever. Okay, that sucks, but you know what? A lot of people would be giving their left arm and their right arm for it because you know you're getting paid a lot of money to do so, and your job by your paycheck is to make that happen.
Perform.
And whoever you're playing don't really care that you're tired. Everybody's
Guess what?
tired.
They're probably tired too.
Everybody at this point in the season is tired. Everybody at this point in physically is a little bit banged up. And so everybody's trying to, do what they got to do. And so, you got to make sure when you're in that position, all the outside distractions or excuses have to be null and void.
You might look from the outside in and say, well, maybe the time's not now for Penn State, just kind of playing out the string. But this is a team with still 2 games remaining. They can get bowl eligible. With their record, they have Nebraska and Rutgers remaining. This is the next step in the journey to bowl eligibility. And Jay, you've mentioned this about Nebraska, and I think the same thing can be true for Penn State, especially after the work that James Franklin did and taking that program, to and near the college football playoff at different times. Penn State fans, I don't think, would be satisfied with 5-7, but they can talk themselves into 6-6. If this is the worst it's going to be, with all the turmoil that we went through, in our worst year, in the past 15 years since everything, broke back in 2011, 2012, if this is the worst for us with all this chaos and this is what it takes for this program to go 6-6, we can deal with that. It's not ideal. We know what has to be fixed, but there's still plenty on the line for Penn State to play for as well. That bowl opportunity, senior day, and, for the players, this might help determine your roster spot. Whether you're still in Happy Valley next year, you hit the transfer portal, you would think that Nebraska would be able to find, more motivation to reach that higher bowl game, to go out and, prove more people wrong on the road and stopping the run. But there's plenty on the table for Penn State to play for too.
Oh, they're going to be, it's senior day. So, they're going to try to show out for, their fans one last time for the senior class. And you're 100% right. They're definitely going to try to find that 6-6 and making a bowl game and potentially having a winning season as their calling card, and really showing this Penn State fight and what they really, are as a program. So you're going to get their best effort. They feel like when you go back and even look at the Ohio State game, they were even Steven with Ohio State, or actually I think they were down by 3, but they scored on the last 2 drives, quite frankly, pretty easily against Ohio State. And then obviously Ohio State hit them with that quick bum rush out of the locker room. So they feel like they're playing pretty well. Then you look at the game against Indiana, they feel like without a legendary play, a legendary drive, I wouldn't say legendary, but after, potentially a Heisman winning drive, they win that game, right? And then they back it up after a emotional loss, which was that Indiana game, that got them a lot of national attention for being able to compete. And they got a little bit of that swagger offensively going. And then they go on the road and beat a Michigan State team that's trying to get to where they're at, bowl eligible. On the road, I wouldn't say easy, but pretty handily. They had control of the game. It seems like it never was, out of hand, or like, Penn State had true control of the game. And then now they say, okay, we got 2. They feel like they got 2 winnable games, just like we feel like we have a winnable game, the next 2 weeks. And they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. And so when you get on that plane and you're getting, I'm sure I don't know if they're there or not, you're close to getting there. You got to understand, you are officially going into a Lion's Den. Minnesota has nothing on this. Maryland certainly can't compete with this type of crowd. It's going to be
UCLA.
That was, you got more, you could get a scrimmage going out, the spring game. This is going to be 100,000 people, 105,000 people, trying to have their influence on the game. You are in the Lions Den. There will be some Nebraska fans out there, probably not much, because it's a hard travel to get there. And you got a team that feels like, with their coach, that they're playing for him. They're playing for, their pride, and they're playing to extend their team or extend their season, excuse me. And whoever becomes their head coach, probably, I don't know whoever that is.
We got an update on that from The Athletic.
Is
the names
it real?
in the search. More names to watch, right, as the search develops. Bob Chesney, Jeff Brom, Elia Drinkwitz, Brent Key, and Clark Lee. Brian Dable is an option, as is Brian Hartline. And former Northwestern head coach Pat Fitzgerald has spoken with almost every open school, including Penn State.
So it's essentially, if it's me,
if you're Pat Kraft,
essentially the Athletic is like, okay, we got to make sure everybody that we're mentioning everybody. But it's really, if it's me, if I'm looking for somebody, it's either Key or Fitzgerald. And I don't know whatever one they like, kind of fits it. Obviously, Fitzgerald fits it, but it obviously has
baggage.
Yeah, and it just, he got, he wasn't found, guilty or of it, and obviously he's going to be compensated by Northwestern or has from it. But still, it's just, it's a lot, considering what was going on before. Now it's not directly, but you just know how the media can be, and Key is kind of like that. He's a Nick Saban, disciple, tough. Has built Georgia Tech, football all the time. Kind of would, just by his personality, you see, he'd probably fit, that Penn State type of, mentality. We shall see. But at the end of the day, Penn State is at ground zero right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have bottomed out, and they fired James Franklin. You can't take that back, right?
No.
But you have to have you might have some, like, I don't know, buyer's remorse. What do you call it? Fire's remorse,
right? Seller's remorse.
Remorse. It's got to be natural.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of decommits is 19.
Whew. Most of them end up at Virginia Tech.
Right.
Even half of them
decommitted, or they might recommit, because based on who you got, you have not. I mean, you struck out on Kirk Cignetti quickly. Okay, that phone call was probably the quickest one. Hello, goodbye. Right. You interviewed Urban Meyer, and then supposedly, but it seems like that, which is like, that's crazy.
Which I wonder how much of that was kind of like what Nebraska did when they got Matt Rule, was they talked to Urban Meyer.
Okay.
Brought him in for a
Maybe
consultant conversation. You can frame it as an interview just to see. But if he says, yeah, I'm not getting back into coaching, then it's just a consultant conversation.
Either way.
Yeah. You talk to him.
Like, that's crazy anyway. Like, that's gone.
Yeah.
I hate to tell people that is gone. The whole Florida Gator swamp life or whatever it is, it's not happening.
Now the Jacksonville thing might happen, but
yeah, that's exactly who you're gonna get. Now, so you struck out there based on, supposedly, according to sources, that he wasn't from, which is weird, because I'm gonna tell you like this: Urban Meyer's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's a football coach and he knows like stuff about NIL. Supposedly it was like he didn't have like a good NIL plan. Well, come on now, this is Urban Meyer. He's in the business. He knows it.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, he's been doing NIL beforehand. They've been paying players left and right anyways. He probably tells, listen, you guys ain't even doing it right. This is how I know how it works. And it has worked.
The guy before him got in trouble for not knowing how it works. And
Exactly.
Urban says, hey, look this.
You're right. So,
look at this. Here we go.
You can talk about Brian Hartline. You're starting over. You can talk about
first-time guy.
Yeah, right. I mean, you're starting over. I mean, whether Ohio State or not, you starting over, player.
Mm-hmm.
Chesney, okay, I got it, but he really, you starting over, right? And this is nothing against them, because they are all really good coaches.
Oh yeah.
But I think when Penn State fires James Franklin, that's why I always said you have one in your, you got one in your front pocket. Right. When I talk about playing spades, the first time I got thrown off the spades table by my Uncle Fred, or Jamal's dad, but he's like, hey, how many you got? So I got 4 with a possible 2. I didn't hit my 4. You got to get up. So the guys that you had, you thought you were going to say yes. You're not there. Now they might already have something already done and just waiting for the right time. I call that suspect at best. Because who is he? Where is he? What are you doing? Because whoever it is ain't winning.
Right.
There's nobody out there that's, you know what I'm saying? Because anybody that's out been like part of it, even your boy at SMU.
Yeah.
They ain't even ranked. He got
No.
paid.
Yeah.
So anybody that you have, and then okay, Jeff Brom right? Okay, well he commenced to lose that next week, and now
Maybe he was distracted.
Maybe he was distracted. And do you trust him? Do you?
I wouldn't. Not yet.
Oh, right. So what has he really done to think that he needs to go from Louisville to Penn State?
To Penn State. You going to bring that offense to Penn State? We'll see. 402-464-5685, 1808. Is anyone looking at a North Texas head coach? Yes, Oklahoma State is at least looking at Eric Morrisman. Back on Penn State here. A couple things. We'll start with IQ Crew. I don't think Penn State has reached their floor or bottomed out. I have a bad feeling they may be on a similar path as Nebraska. The floor dropped out over and over the last 24 years. And that's what I'm saying, IQ Crew, is Penn State fans, if they get to a bowl game at 6-6, would convince themselves that,
they're not Nebraska. They're not Nebraska.
We'll be different. We'll get a better hire. We know our identity. We'll find someone that fits, and we'll be fine.
I would ask, how long has it been? It's been way too long. Now it's almost like when Aaron Rodgers signed with the Jets. We're forgetting to talk about it, right?
Right.
So now you're out of the news cycle. That means you're out of the hiring cycle, really. It's all Virginia Tech right now, and then now it's all Lane Kiffin, and Lane Kiffin's not associated with. And what are you going to do? Hire Lincoln Riley from USC? Right?
Lincoln's not moving to Happy Valley. Not happening. But my bigger point is that fan bases will convince themselves they won't beat Nebraska. Nebraska tried to convince itself this would never happen.
Yeah, Nebraska.
And guess what? It did.
Nebraska fans convinced themselves that they wouldn't be Notre Dame when Notre Dame went through it. The difference is Notre Dame never changed the fabric of, listen, this is football. You have to win. So they just kept doing it, right? And they probably had some seller's remorse. Was it Tyrone Willingham?
Yeah.
Right?
Charlie Weiss when he left.
Right. And but then you were kind of spinning your wheels a little bit, right? And then now they've obviously got it back right with Brian Kelly and obviously Marcus Freeman. So listen, I remember talking to Sean Bryson in Peerless Price. I would never forget this. And this is when Philip Fulmer was there at Tennessee. And he went to the SEC championship and lost. And they had just come, they won that championship after we did. So we've been friends ever since we played up in Buffalo together. And then the next year there was a little bit of a letdown. And they were, everybody, all the fans, get rid of Fulmer. He's old. The games passed him by, all that. I said, be careful what you ask for.
Because you just might get it.
Because you just might get it. And I don't know if they truly are out of the darkness yet.
Well, they're not, because Fulmer came back and did that coup of the athletic department.
Right. And then the Derek Dooley, the Pruitts.
Well, the Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, after 7-6. It's crazy. I didn't even think about that. I was just looking at it, but it was just like he was only there 9 months.
Yeah.
He came in, had that press conference, did the season. All right,
7-6, had another press conference.
Yeah, I'll holler at you, player. Didn't even get a full year's of interest on his crib. And then, now I think Josh Heupel, we'll see, right? But, Danny White does a good job. They're kind of connected there.
I like Danny White more than I do Josh Heupel.
I agree with that. I think that stuff would. I think that when that stuff with Nico happened, everybody was 100% on Nico. Now you're starting to see it was probably about 40% Nico, 60% Tennessee.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean Josh Heupel's a bad dude or not, but some guys can get fixated on their system.
Right.
That's why I always say I like an offense versus a system. An offense you can curtail to who you're playing. A system you think you can just get these dudes walking up and down O Street with the badges on, and as long as they run it to the place they think it's going to work. Well, that doesn't work like that. But back to Penn State, man, they are in right now in franchise program bizarre world. They don't want to recognize it. They are.
But they have to before it's
and
too
it's
late.
Crazy, man. They have a proud alumni base. They do. And they have a very strong alumni base, former players. They have a lot of guys that I played with and against, and guys that I communicate with at times on their kind of hiring advisory board as well, in everything. Yeah. So they're unless they have the guy and they're keeping it real quiet. But like I said, whoever it is, you ain't winning the press conference. You're not.
Mm-mm.
So now you're looking down at Virginia Tech and looking at him, and sure, he gave you a little bit of a, discount, but it really isn't. Is that he already had that job, so he didn't ding you up for, a much. Now you starting over?
Yeah.
Bro, you just came out of you almost was like SMU. What they were, you almost were on death penalty. Him and Bill O'Brien and this dude took you out, or James Franklin took you out of death penalty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Says a lot about, number one, those two guys. Number two, the brand of Penn State to be able to bounce back that quickly. Think about how long it took Baylor. Think about how long it took SMU. So for Penn State to be able to have a brand that resilient.
That's luck.
Yes, and shout out to O'Brien and Franklin.
It was luck you had those two.
Yeah.
Because remember, Bill, nobody would touch that job because of the loose scholarships and all that.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the Matt Rule thing at Baylor.
Yeah,
to some degree. But
you gotta have a unique eye for that opportunity, and you're lucky that you backed it up with James Franklin.
Yeah, and
then he took it to another stratosphere. To actually probably bigger than what they actually are. Because when you watch this team, right, it was the preseason number one with the quarterback in there. But if you watch this team play with him being removed, they're really not that good. They're really here's what I'm saying. They were preseason number one. Ohio State's number one.
Yeah.
Indiana's number two. Those two teams I just mentioned look significantly different than them.
Yeah. Move a little
quarterback
different.
or not.
Yeah.
There you go. So James Franklin was part of the reason why you were preseason number one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And maybe he sold the program too much. That people believed in it too much.
It's hard to have too much of a good thing, right? All you can do is your best at the time.
Well, what I'm saying is it created a false, it's kind of like what I always talk about Minnesota, because I would say, I used to live there with Glenn Mason. And when, he was getting in a bowl game, and then it was like, oh, this is, he's exceeding expectations. But it's like, oh, no, we got to be Ohio State. Bro, you ain't even trying to be Ohio State. So then they got rid of, then lucky Jerry Kill come, but you only can, hit 777s when you're playing a slot machine so many times.
For most programs, it's once, maybe twice.
Right.
For most. Let's get to this last couple texts here on our Starter Human Jewelers text line. Alan in Lincoln says, Jay, I doubt Penn State plays in a bowl game if they do become eligible so they can pick a coach. Agree or disagree?
I think if I'm the coach and they are 6-6, I want you to play in the bowl game.
Because they probably hire him Sunday or Monday after they beat Rutgers. If, let's say, they get them to 6-6.
Do you think they wait that long?
Well, they play on Saturday. I'm saying Sunday or Monday, like next
after
day
Rutgers?
or two. Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, I mean, heck, if you waited this long, you might as well wait another week. I'm thinking you need to hire somebody today.
They waited this long, so
yeah. Hey, we are Penn State, and what they
right?
Because again, I need 2 weeks to learn the fight song.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? So I don't end up like Brian Kelly. I think the coach would want them to play, because he can get around the players. One, you want to be able to evaluate the team. Number two, you want to get to know your team. In no better way than being at practice. But then also,
well, no matter who's around or not, because don't forget the transfer portal doesn't officially open until January 2 anymore. So these guys really don't have much of a reason to sit out.
Oh, you don't want to get hurt. And if you're already in the portal, what do I always say? Once you go in the portal, you've been in the portal.
True.
So a lot of these guys might be in the portal at whenever that 4-0 is on that clock against Rutgers.
Do you think that there's maybe then some level of a splash needed to keep some of these players around? So these players who are more invested in themselves that might stick around. Oh, I was going to leave, but hey, this coach seems like he's going to be good, so I'll stick around before they even meet him.
Yeah, LeVar Arrington's son's on that team. He wears number 11. You better pass more than the eye test. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You on DEFCON 2. Okay, I didn't realize it. Just maybe I didn't realize that 5 is like the low level.
Oh yeah. DEFCON 1 is we are.
Yeah. Well, you had DEFCON.
Here, the bomb's dropping.
You're on DEFCON 2, and you're moving rapidly towards 1. And because you have to make say they hire some guy and everybody would be a good hire. Obviously, they're gonna be happy with it. But then it's like you don't even nobody cares, get you any tread. Right. And now it's not all about the press conference, but it is the respect because now
it's the first impression.
And it's expanded. Look hey, my sphincter muscle would be puckered tight. Cubic zirconium would be coming out of there.
Last thing then from Jim before we take our first break. Jay, you think the Penn State assistant coaches have checked out? They're worried about their future and maybe looking for other jobs.
I'm sure they got an agent that's able to go do so, but I think a majority of them would like to stay. Some, even the head coach, he's a Penn State guy, and he's trying to hold the fort down. I think much like when Scott got fired and then Mickey and those guys and like Bill Bush and those guys kind of really did the right thing. I think most coaches would do the right thing. So I'd imagine at Penn State, they'll do the same. Now, I think they got to handle the business part though, because they got to make sure they, take care of their families. Spot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or, I don't know how long their contracts are. I'm sure a lot of them are, have a extra year on their contract.
Well, and a bunch of this for Penn State is probably more entrenched assistants, unlike the end of Scott Frost, where, do I really sign on as a new assistant like the Mark Whipple thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to give me 2 for me to even come there. 1 year, I'm not going to do that.
Well,
you got to give them 2. But that's what I'm saying. But that's the example.
Yeah, they probably maybe have multiple years left, and that's where, they got to handle the business part. But I'm sure they want to do what's right, and they want to do what's right by those kids because, say they go and get a job somewhere else, and they want that kid to come play for them. They want to make sure that that relationship with those kids or those players in your room are, as tight as it ever be. And plus, sometimes it brings you a little bit closer. Everybody's not on solid ground, but you got to move forward and be a professional.
Moving forward in the Hall of Fame Classic, Nebraska men's basketball. They're playing for the Hall of Fame Classic championship tonight. They'll take on Big 8 and Big 12 foe Kansas State. We'll talk about last night's win over New Mexico and tonight's game against Kansas State more when we get back to Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No Shave November is raising awareness of men's health and prostate cancer. Limitless Male wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
Make Hog Wild the centerpiece of your Thanksgiving feast. Pre-order a 12-pound whole smoked turkey or a 4-pound turkey breast for $55. A 4-pound boneless ham is $50. A complete meal includes your choice of a whole turkey or turkey breast, mashed potatoes and gravy, stuffing, green beans or corn, and a dozen rolls for $130. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com soon. Quantities are limited. All weights are approximate before cooking. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and it's that time of the year again. Time for the annual Happy Honda Days at Honda of Lincoln. With me on the line, Andy Goodyear, to tell us all about it.
The exciting news is we have more selection and more savings. We have over 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from, with a great opportunity to get year-end savings on every remaining new 2025.
Do you have some Happy Honda Days specials?
Sure do, Charlie. For example, you can lease a new 2025 Accord Sport Hybrid for just $349 a month, and we have financing from just 0% APR. We've also included over 125 pre-owned of all makes and models, and as always, our certified pre-owns are in this sale as well.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Nutrition Authority invites you to check out the all-new Epic Effects. Epic Effects is designed to blast body fat, curb cravings, and provide the smooth energy to get you through the day. Home of free samples and better than internet pricing, Epic Effects can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Old School. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. 84-72, Nebraska takes down New Mexico. The Huskers are now 5-0. Jay, knows on Peacock. Did you get a chance to sit down and watch any of the Huskers last night?
I did. I watched it. They were very
What'd you
impressed. I mean, they jumped out on them, and then obviously you knew coming out of halftime, it felt like the Lobos, made a little bit of run, but then they were able to finish them off. They were clearly the better team.
Mm-hmm.
As we talked about with football, the maturity, this is it as well. And you got to tip the hat. They beat a team that they should have, that they were better than. And I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was well in control. And the first game, I think, in this type of deal, when you kind of get there, and it's maybe the hardest.
People have been asking for Nebraska basketball to be consistent. Well, why can't you just shoot, 6 of, 17 from 3 in each half, or, 8 of 17 from 3 in each half on your way to 37%? I just don't think that's the identity and the DNA of this team, Jay. I think at the end of the year, we look back, we're not going to be too surprised about what Nebraska's record is, but any individual game might be a little bit surprising, right? It's been kind of a tale of two halves now in back-to-back games. First half, pretty well dominated by Oklahoma, but Nebraska was old enough, mature enough, and made enough shots to stick in it. Then they really dominated the second half. Kind of the vice versa against New Mexico. Instead of playing from behind, they're playing with a lead.
Yeah.
Let it slip away. But, Nebraska handled both kinds of the adversity, right? Having to crawl back from a 16, 17-point deficit and then having to cling to a 4-point lead that was down from 20. You'd rather not see that. You'd rather have that steady as she goes, win more of the 4-minute segments than the opponent. I just don't think that's who this Nebraska team is, at least not yet. At the end of the day, aside from the turnovers, the numbers are actually pretty good. You win the rebounding battle. You shoot 37% from 3. Sure, free throw numbers maybe a little bit low, down at 68% just against New Mexico there. But overall, I think that while it's going to be easy to go into each half or each game individually, keeping track of the bigger picture is going to be big for Husker fans, because I think this team is going to have people liking where it's at the end, even if there are those ups and downs along the way.
Yeah, you're going to have a low where they go maybe a little bit cold from shooting or just lose their rhythm. And that's any team every season.
Yeah.
And, it's going to be interesting to see how or who gets them out of it. And that's, you won't know that until towards the end, until when they really get into, Big Ten play. But, they shot the ball pretty good, now obviously not 56% as they did, the game before. And shameless pat myself on the back. What I said, Braden Frager had 0 points. Look for him to have a big game. Why? Because New Mexico was going to focus on our guards and stuff like that. It would allowed him, and because he has a little bit more versatility and being left-handed too. I think early in the season, this is what people don't understand, is that guarding a guy that's lefty is odd, even though, number one, you might not have a left-hand player on your practice squad. Number two, it catches people off guard, and he came up big, and that's a big reason why they were able to win.
And I think Frager is the kind of poster child for what this Nebraska season is going to look like. At the end of the year, you're going to look back at his numbers and probably see 6 to 8 points per game, 4 rebounds per game, an assist or 2, a steal per game. He was consistent. He was there. He was playing every night. But I think it's going to be, okay, he had 20 points tonight. He had 4. He had 2. He had 7 rebounds one game and one like that.
It's going to be like Connor Steegen. He's going to have the same way. And then Connor might, he'll get on those 4 or 5 game heaters.
Yeah.
Where he's consistently in low to mid double digits, and you have to take it. And that's why they built this roster this way. And so, they're in a good position. I like the stats as far as they won the overall rebounds, lost by 3 on the offensive rebounds. So obviously you don't want to, lose that, but overall they won the rebounds. They won the assists, lost the steals by almost 2 times. And
Nebraska was just soft with it way too often.
Right. But that's where this was a shock to their system. These guys were, trying to get after you. Nebraska had, more points in the paint, and then also more fast break points. So even though obviously the turnovers and stuff like that wasn't good, they were able to capitalize on stuff, get some easy buckets. So that's where they were able to withstand some runs from New Mexico, and then maybe potentially start one. Moving themselves. So I think it's onward, upward, and you got 2 games back to back. That's going to be also another maturity test too. Who can answer the bell back to back? Now you expect the Jamarcus Lawrence, Rank Mass, and all those guys, right? And Sanford and all that. Who are the complementary pieces that's going to step up tonight? Because they're going to need 1 or 2 complementary pieces to step up every night, and it's not just on the scoring points. It's going to be whether it's energy, getting your hands on a couple tips or something like that, or steals, or assists, or hockey assists, right? And a hockey assist, if you're listening to people, or listen out here, hockey assist to me is I make the right pass to Austin, and you get credit for the assist, but is the cause and effect because I'm either passing up a shot or I'm getting it to you on time and on target to let you get into your original move, or in the secondary move you set up like rink mass on a backdoor cut, easy point. So we'll see what happens. Tonight it'll be another tough test.
It's an interesting test for Nebraska, a Kansas State team that likes to get up and down, that likes to score. Jay, I'm not fully sold on Jerome Tang as a head coach. I think he's fine. He's still got some questions to answer for me. Guy that doesn't have many questions to answer, PJ Haggerty.
Yeah.
All-American last year, consensus All-American nonetheless. Two-time All-Conference guy in the American with Penny Hardaway out there at Memphis, who, by the way, pushed Purdue out in the Bahamas yesterday.
Not bad for not putting it in their defense to the first
the game plan till the first week. Yeah, pretty incredible. But we've seen Nebraska kind of take on these one-man shows before. Obviously, Kansas State has other talented players, but they run so much of what they do through Haggerty. What do you think the game plan is for Nebraska? Is it, cover everyone else and just let Haggerty get his? Do you throw different waves of bodies at Haggerty to try to throw him off? What's your strategy in defending a 6'4", 200-pound kind of combo guard like him with Nebraska?
Yeah, and he just dropped almost 40 points last game. So you're going to have to mix up your coverages. You're going to have to make him work for everything, and your scouting department is going to have to know where he's the most effective. Every good scorer has a couple spots that's like their watering hole. You got to get him off those spots, and you can't let him get there in rhythm. If you're gonna let him play at his pace, then he's gonna score 30. Period.
Yeah.
Now you'd be okay with him scoring 30 if he takes 30 shots.
Right.
So you want to make sure that he's not as efficient as he was, against Mississippi State. So
that's a dangerous game to play, where you kind of want to play in the psychology of, hey, I did everything for us yesterday. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to get us going early, but you also can't let him, kind of like we talked about with Nico at quarterback, the quarterback that does everything. You got to put the burden on him to do everything, but not let him feel like he's comfortable in a rhythm. Yeah.
And that's where you see Nico ran into trouble against us, and even the week before, obviously, against Ohio State. But then also you saw, obviously it's football related, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Right.
And we'll talk about that game too.
And it's also on the coordinator, but then also now it's the coach. It was Jerome Tang, is like to make sure that you have the conversation with him. Look, man, you're going to get your points, but when and how you get your points, because the best Kansas State version is you getting a high volume of shots and points, but we also got to make sure that we're able to get everybody else going, because eventually somebody's going to have somebody that can stick with you.
Yeah.
Eventually you're going to be off, and you can't really get into your spots. So you want to make sure you do that the right way. But I think I'm interested in that matchup a little bit later start tonight, but they're going to get busy. It's a nice little nightcap.
Indeed.
Nice little nightcap.
Let's say Nebraska wins tonight. What would that do for your confidence in the team and the program moving forward through the rest of the non-conference, and looking forward to conference play here in about a week and a half?
I think, I think they would have exceeded initial expectations, because I think when you saw the transfer portal class, you were like, that's it, because you're losing so much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But then
you just go,
but then when you dug into particularly the 3-point numbers, and the different body types, right, and then you got to think Braden Frager is part of this portal class because he was redshirted last year. You're like, oh, okay, I see it. And I think it'd just be more on showing maturity and more of the same. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good battle, though.
Nebraska 5-0, owners of the nation's longest win streak at 9 games. Can the Huskers push it to double digits?
Who would have thought Nebraska basketball running things?
How about it?
Yeah, that's a trivia question.
It is.
In what year did Nebraska lead the nation in most consecutive wins? Well, I guess
here we are. Yeah, because Florida didn't. They lost their season opener. They won 6 in a row to end last season, but 4 in the crown, 5 to start the regular season for Nebraska men's basketball. The number is 3 consecutive Big Ten titles for Nebraska volleyball. Huskers wrap up another one, at least a share, on their way to the full shebang in the Big Ten with a win over Iowa last night. Let's talk about those 3 conference championships in a row and what December could hold for Nebraska volleyball briefly before we get into Hour 2 of Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Are you familiar with everything the Lincoln Children's Museum offers? Camps, field trips, and game day playdates are just a few of the extraordinary programs provided by the Lincoln Children's Museum. When you spend a day with your family at the Lincoln Children's Museum, your child's mind can explore while enjoying the many interactive exhibits they have, while keeping admission prices extremely affordable. Stop by the Lincoln Children's Museum today in downtown Lincoln, or visit them online for more information at lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxbeatlincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour 1 of Old School here on The Ticket. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Coming up at 5, Jason Peter, former Husker, in the studio with us. That'll be fun as always, so make sure on your drive home you're tuned in for that. Last night, heard from former Husker Mandy Monson with Harrison Arons on Nebraska volleyball postgame. Jay, 3 straight conference titles for the Nebraska women. First time in the Big Ten era they've done that. Last time they did that was 2004, 2005 through 2007, 2008 in the Big 12. Nebraska now 27-0 overall, 17-0 in the Big Ten. Of those 27 wins, Jay, 22 of them have been sweeps.
Yeah.
There's being good, there's being great, and then they're sweeping 22 of your 27 opponents.
Yeah, this is straight domination, and then and there's onward upward. The standard is the standard, and they're just going out there, and it's a buzzsaw right now. And you want to see it for the whole season. And, you know, they seem to be picking up steam. I think that wake-up call against UCLA probably lit a fire inside them that they took out on USC, and then again in Iowa, I think Iowa last night. So I think it's really, really cool and interesting to see Coach Danny come in after John Cook retires and really keep it going, because people had questions whether, you know, coming from Louisville, whether she would, you know, be able, how fast the transition would be. Now, obviously, the team that's coming back is very, very talented, but also lets you know her message and how she's connected with the players, you know, in the preseason has allowed them to be successful, you know, during the season right now.
Looking at the rest of the schedule for Nebraska volleyball, just a few regular season matches remaining coming up. On Sunday, it will be Nebraska and Indiana. That is a top 20 matchup before Nebraska hosts Penn State on Black Friday, and then Ohio State to end the regular season. So Huskers on the verge of a 30-0 regular season. They've done that before. It's been a minute since they've done it. But, of course, Jay, with this program, the question is always postseason.
Yeah.
They've answered questions as well as they could in the regular season. It's been a heck of a debut in her return, like you said, for Danny Busboom-Kelly. But any questions that anyone might have about Nebraska volleyball won't be answered in the regular season, because they've been fine, more than fine, in the regular season for 15 years now.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is when they face adversity in the NCAA tournament, do they go back to their old habits of not communicating, of relying on one player too much, or did the message really take root? Going to be really interested to see what happens once the calendar flips to December for the presumable number 1 overall seed in the tournament.
Yeah, I think they are on a mission. I think they feel like they let one slip, and you know what? This is they kind of got over the mental hump with Penn State going out there blitzing them, and I think they're just, you know, come one, come all, and then they'll, you know, give everybody the business.
Indeed. Speaking of Penn State, their setter that left for mental health reasons will enter the transfer portal when that opens. So Izzy Stark will be on the market for some probable high-level team. That was one of the best setters in the country. Not quite Bergen Riley level good, but plenty good in her own right. Plenty more to come in hour 2. We'll look at the weekend in college football and a lot to get to in the NFL. Texans take down the Bills. We'll sort the NFL into tiers in the NFC and the AFC. Who do you trust? Who do you not trust as we come down the stretch? He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School on the Ticket.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers. Starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Hey guys, it's Nick. It is time that we crown 6 state championship winners, and we put a bow on this season of high school football here on 93.7 The Ticket. Join me and Jay Foreman from Memorial Stadium on November 24th and 25th for a total of 6 state championship matchups heard right here on The Ticket. We kick things off at 10:15 on Monday with Class D1 action, followed by the Class D2 title that features St. Mary's and Why Not, all wrapping up on Monday with a nightcap of number 1 Waverly and number 2 Gretna East. Then on Tuesday morning at 10:15, we start in Class C1 with number 1 Wahoo versus number 3 Sydney, followed by Class C2 title game action at 2:45 p.m., all wrapping up with the Class A championship match between number 4 Millard South and number 3 Papio South. All 6 state championship games heard right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com on Monday and Tuesday, November 24th and 25th.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Here we go. Welcome in hour 2 of Old School on The Ticket. I'm Austin. He's Jay. Glad you're with us. 402-464-5685. Let us know. Are you taking the week off before Thanksgiving? Got to go back next week. 402-464-5685. We know you're a turkey person on Thanksgiving. Go get it out at the Mercado. All your other meats and accessories for your meats as well. 3 Lincoln locations and 1 up in Omaha. Make sure you get some stock up for the weekend. Should be a fun one in college football. And Jay, really the headlining game, probably the most to do when it comes to the college football playoff and even a little bit the Big Ten race and how we perceive some of those teams at the top. Oregon and USC. Should be in the Pac-10, should be in the Pac-12. Yeah. But man, this is, again, do or die for USC. And sneaky, could be do or die for Oregon as well.
Yeah. You got 2 teams trying to fight to stay alive, but with different kind of external circumstances. USC to really validate that they're actually back as a national, power or, respectful nationally, and obviously be alive for the Big Ten needs them to, stay alive for the college football playoffs. And Oregon is probably because of the schedule and lack of sexiness coming down the pipe. And so Oregon only has 1 loss. USC has 2. Most likely if they lose a third, you won't be able to get in. Oregon might have a slight chance, but need some help, right? But the Big Ten needs them. And, and so if I'm the Big Ten eyes, there in Chicago, obviously you're going back and forth. Do we need Oregon to stay alive? Do we really need USC? Or is there a way we can get both? But the only way you're going to get both is USC wins. And there's a lot of pressure. Lincoln Riley has I wouldn't say I think he has a little bit less pressure than he had at the beginning of the season. Because they play a different, he's telling you, hey, look, we're trying to be more physical, and we are. Defensively is still, a little bit lacking, but for the most part, they've done their thing.
Here's the thing though, even defensively though, USC's 37th in defensive SP plus. So no, it's not great. And again, the top 20 offenses they faced, to hold 2 of them, Illinois and Notre Dame, really shredded them. 34 points per game, 72 yards per play. Oregon's number 10 offense in SP plus in the country, but still 37th in defense. What have we said for years? Just be okay. Just be good enough defensively.
And that's that whole thing is like once you see improvement, but now we need more, right? Yeah. They're fighting the same things that everybody else is, as far as when they do improve. So it's a big game. I mean, Oregon's offense when rolling with Dante Moore is pretty tough. But I think it's up to USC to find a game plan that they're going to try to confuse them. Now, this is the 3rd time. Now, you struck out twice. Notre Dame has a young quarterback. Obviously, Illinois' quarterback is very, very good in Altmaier. But then now you got another young quarterback in Dante Moore. You got to find a way to slow him down and that offense down. Because if you don't, doesn't matter what that USC offense does, Oregon will win this game.
This is from ESPN's preview of this game. In the past 5 games with his receiving corps struggling through injuries, Dante Moore's total quarterback rating has been under 42 3 times and over 91 twice. But the Ducks are second nationally in both rushing success rate and yards per carry, and they have seemingly endless depth at running back. 4 running backs have rushed at least 42 times, and 3 of them average at least 7 yards per carry. Teams can make stops if they force more to consistently make plays on passing downs, but it's hard to guarantee that USC will ever knock the Ducks off schedule. USC's rushing defense, 126th in rushing success rate allowed, 103rd in stuff rate, which is a run stop or behind the line of scrimmage. For an Oregon team, Jay, that you still think of as, flash, pizzazz, chuck it around, style points. But this is more of a gritty, grimy kind of blue collar Oregon team.
It has to be because they don't have the quarterback, even though Dante Moore is a high NFL prospect. But Bo Nix has been in college, it seems like forever. And obviously you had Johnson, the receiver, and you had Stewart and then Ferguson, I think, the tight end. So they had NFL.
Sadiq is still there, but
but still, they had top-notch NFL talent, and they had continuity. This is Dante Moore's first time, leading the team. And so they've had to kind of reshape their offense. And then obviously I think he's taken off, right? And obviously you see when he gets going, and obviously when they're healthy, I mean, you see why all the hype was, around him.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, Oregon has a really good looking football team. You know what I'm saying? Defensively. I'm not impressed with them defensively, even though they're a good looking football team. I think
even though the numbers tell you they're pretty good.
Even the numbers tell me that they're pretty good. Now, granted, I'm going off of the way Penn State last year was able to move the ball, almost score for score with them until they were able to double up on them late in the game, right? I'm looking at them at times, when I watched them, I was able to watch the coaches tape when they played Northwestern. Northwestern was able to do some things, but then Northwestern, Stone did what Stone does and do it, played keep away for 2 straight possessions. That's where I'm looking at it. So it's maybe a little bit of bias. Their numbers are good, and they got a ton of talent. You would just expect when they roll out there. If you watch this game tomorrow, you roll out there and they can rotate, 8 guys on the defensive line, and 2 really good. It was a number 10 and then number 44 defensive ends. They're pretty. Those are pretty good looking dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They got number 1 in the middle, and I think number 28. And
Bocher,
and then they got Jackson, who's an Omaha kid linebacker, and 28. I mean, they're rolling out there with some dudes 54, 26. They're rolling out with some good looking dudes, and it's like, you need to take it a step, to where you can be a dominating defense. And they got the work cut out for them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Even though they're at home, they have their work cut out for them.
USC number 2 offense in yards per play. Offensively, Oregon 3rd defensively in yards per play. USC 5th in points per drive. Offensively, Oregon's defense is 9th. Success rate, USC's offense is 4th. Oregon's defense is 18th. This is still a top 5, top 3 offense in the country for USC.
Yeah, and quietly, and it's differently.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's different. 3rd team running back, do your thing. 3rd team walk-on running back,
cooking.
Counter left, counter right, and killing folks. And he seems like he's getting better.
Yeah.
And that's not normally what you think with Lincoln Riley. Now, I think Lincoln Riley always runs the ball a lot more than people give him credit for, but he's never had to run. I wouldn't say never, but most of the time he has his starter or a high-ranking backup. He has the 3rd-string running back that was a walk-on, and the 5-star running back that can't get any carries behind him. And then obviously you got Lemon, who's been very, very good. And then obviously Jaden Maeva looked horrible against Nebraska, but he's been pretty good after that. So I think it's going to come down to whatever the best of each team wins. USC's offense against Oregon's defense.
Mm-hmm.
If USC's offense does better than Oregon's offense against USC's defense, USC wins. So it's going to come down to how well Oregon's defense plays and can. And I was thinking about this, Austin. I want your opinion. Is it going to be keeping USC away from explosive plays, or not letting USC just kind of, that one drive against Nebraska where they just kind of just beat you up, right? And consistently, 8 yards here, 14 here, quick pass here, and then, where they kind of like a death by 1,000 paper cuts on the road, and then obviously you're at the home team.
Let me go to this stat maybe. The Ducks at Oregon have yet to give up more than 5.3 yards per play in any game. USC has yet to average less than 5.5. I don't think USC can survive offensively if it's run for two, hope Maeva makes something happen.
No, not against these athletes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so I think it's better for USC if they can stay on schedule.
Yeah.
You have a guy like Lemon who can be the game breaker, but let's say you throw him that quick hitch. You throw him a screen of some sort. If you get 4 to 7 yards off of that and you're on schedule, that's fine, because you're going to give him chances to break it open and turn that into an explosive play. This can't be an all or nothing game. for USC offensively. So I think for Oregon, stopping that run first and second down, making Maeva beat you, he's good, but he's human, right? I do think that Lanning's good enough coach and that defensive staff is good enough that with that talent, if they can win first and second down, like any team, really, they'll feel better about their chances. USC is explosive and can overcome some of that. But, man, I just think Oregon's a little bit too well-rounded for me. It's probably maybe not as high a scoring game as some people might think it's going to be, at least in my head. I could see, upper 20s, maybe not into the high 30s or low 40s. But, Jay, let me ask you this then. I am not in the camp that the Big Ten gets 4 teams into the playoff.
No.
I think 3.
Well, this is the elimination game.
It is. Another one.
Yeah.
Is it better for the Big Ten if last year's 1 seed, your big national newcomer, Brandon, Oregon, continues to make the playoff? Or is it better for the Big Ten if one of your historical brands, USC, reestablishes itself and makes the playoff?
It's better if USC does. I think because Big Ten because you always expect, like Oregon would be odds-on favorite to make it next year.
Yeah.
Right? Dante Moore comes back, so forth and so on. Yeah. USC needs it. And the Big Ten needs it. Now, they might not like it. It'd be interesting. I don't know which team would go farther. I'd probably lean on to Dan Lanning just because he's been there before.
We have to start talking matchups now in the college football playoff
so
as well.
I'm just saying who can travel, right?
Yeah, sure, sure.
Right?
Portable.
Portable. But more importantly, after this game, whoever wins this game, you have to hold serve the rest of the season.
Yeah.
You cannot have a mishap. And you
luckily only got 1 chance left.
Right.
But that one can really kill you.
But that's where it is more pressure packed. It's like you got over the hump, right? You kind of, a sigh of relief, and then, we got another team that's coming to knock us off. So you cannot afford, to have your guard down after this.
I tend to agree that I think in the long term, it's probably better for the Big Ten, especially if this is going to be the conference that pushes for a 2014 playoff and 4 auto bids for itself.
Yeah.
If Oregon wins, I think the benefit of that is, hey, look, they have staying power. They're not the soft pushover program that they can't compete anymore. They've established themselves in the Big Ten. It's not just, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State. Oregon is here. They're a player in the Big Ten. They're not just sizzle. There's stake there as well. But if the Big Ten wants to continue to push its preferred model of more automatic qualifiers from each conference, that's where you want the depth. Hey, look at all these good teams that we have sent to the playoff before. This is why we need more automatic berths, because we have so many teams that any given year could be playoff quality.
Yeah, because when you think about it, if USC loses, Oregon wins, Oregon ends up like tricking it off against Washington the last week of the season. Now your attention goes to Michigan.
Gross.
Against Ohio State.
Yeah.
Which last year was a fluke. You're gonna get the boat race this year. So for the Big Ten, you need USC to be able to do it. And plus, because USC plays UCLA the last week of the season. Very favorable matchup for USC Trojans. So this is why this game right here is an elimination game. Obviously, they've been in elimination game mode since they played here at Nebraska. And so it gives them a little bit of on-the-job training of championship mindset.
Does that help a team, or does that wear on a team by the end of a month like this?
I think it helps you. I think it helps you because if you have the right mindset and have it as a goal, it's like, okay, this is it. This is the last one. Not that UCLA is going to be a pushover. It's like, oh, yeah, this is it. We're on the road. We need to be hyper-focused. This has got to have your attention. It's great that we got here. Now, let's not fumble and fumble the opportunity now that we're here. Like, we came this far. Let's get the job done.
A couple other interesting games in college football. Jay, do you want Big 12 or SEC games first?
SEC.
Oklahoma hosting
I was about to say that one.
Missouri. Obviously, both these teams have their own quarterback issues. Missouri's starter Will Prebio obviously down for the year, and then Mateer is back for Oklahoma. Number 22 at number 8. This is another one, Jay. Not a pushover, but for Oklahoma,
you got to hold serve.
You got to hold serve.
And it's hard to hold serve against the Mizzou Tigers with that defensive line.
That running back?
In that running back. So that means what is that going to do? Lessen your chances, condense the game. And Mateer is really good as far as being able to create things off schedule. That Missouri defensive line ain't letting you get off schedule.
Oh.
So it's going to – and then also it's the maturity, right? You just won down at Bama.
Mhm.
Can you validate?
With the fewest yards in what, like a top 10 win of any
Right.
team, like the 2000s or something like that?
You have to
Crazy.
validate it.
Yeah.
That's why it's about the process and understanding the standard on how you win. You can't. Yes, you can be happy that you won and celebrate that, but you
Mhm.
also can focus on how they won, which obviously I wouldn't say it was luck, but obviously it's never happened before.
Yeah.
So you can't think you have everything solved. And here comes a Missouri that's essentially playing for the best bowl game they can get, moving forward with their, everything running back and second, third team quarterback.
Oklahoma favored by 7.5 in this one. SP Plus says it's Oklahoma by 5. Football Power Index gives it to Oklahoma by 3.5. Jay, what a potentially, closing salvo it could be for Elijah Drinkwitz at Missouri, though. We've heard his name thrown around with a lot of these big jobs, especially with Penn State, a little bit with Florida. I think for him, he at least has the excuse of, hey, Privula dislocated his ankle. We were rolling. Yeah. And, if this goes off the rails, that won't reflect on me, right? Oh, the quarterback got hurt. What could we really expect them to do? All they had was a true freshman backup there in Matt Zollers, former Nebraska target, by the way. But sneaky big one for him. I don't think that a loss on the road at now top 10 Oklahoma takes much shine off of him. But if he gets this win on the road, knocks Oklahoma back to the fringes of the playoff race, if Penn State hasn't made a decision yet, maybe it gets a little more interesting.
Post game going to be off the chain. Post game going to be off the hook with you. Straight up. Visor and all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for him. And, there's nothing for them to lose. They already got the built-in excuse, but I don't think he operates that way as far as his message to the team. And upset victory. They're 22 now. You beat number 8 Oklahoma. You're thinking trying to maybe be top 16 or, top 18.
Yeah.
You're not 18. You move up 4 or 5 spots.
Yeah.
You're in a good position. You can say, look, this is the way that we were able to overcome a huge obstacle and keep this program up and being relevant.
In the Big 12, former conference for both of those two teams, you have BYU on the road at Cincinnati. Big 12 standings look like this, Jay. It's Texas Tech at 7-1. I believe they're on a bye this week. BYU a half game back at 6-1. Of course, their one loss to Texas Tech. Utah 5-2, Houston 5-2, Arizona State 5-2, Cincinnati 5-2. Offense has taken a bit of a step back for Cincinnati recently. Defense still hasn't been great for the Bearcats, but a home opportunity against a team in BYU that kind of feels like needs to win the Big 12 to get into the playoff, but should still garner at least some at-large consideration, especially with a road win like this late in the season.
Do you trust BYU? The way they looked offensively against Texas Tech, they look horrible.
Do you put that more on BYU or Texas Tech?
I mean, Texas Tech obviously was playing. Obviously a very good team. Cincinnati has slowed down a little bit. Defense is, yet to be desired, but Cincinnati at home.
They've lost their last 2 games, 75-38 combined.
Yeah,
Gotten doubled up essentially by Utah and Arizona. I think I like BYU in this one, but again, wouldn't this be the one last gasp maybe from Cincy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, it would be. I think I like BYU. I'm gonna give them a chance. I think they know that their back's against the wall and they want to get some get back. So they're going to be motivated. Back-to-back road games, I think they're going to be motivated. And Cincinnati, when you lose the way that they've lost, it's hard to muster up points. It'd be different if they lost in the last 2 games, 76 as far as the points into 64. You're like, all right, we're still putting up. We just got to tighten up a few things on defense. You're not stopping anybody on defense, and you're definitely not scoring any points.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard recipe to get right in 1 week.
And then in the ACC, Jay, Pitt at Georgia Tech. Pitt wins them both. They're in the ACC title game. Georgia Tech's got to win out to get there. You also have Louisville at SMU. SMU favored. Louisville's looked a little glitchy the last couple of weeks. Who do you like in Pitt, Georgia Tech, at Georgia Tech, and then Louisville at SMU?
I like Georgia Tech. I like Coach Key. I think they're with King and everybody. I think they're built to go and do what they need to do. I think Pittsburgh got shellacked against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And
just ask Pat Narduzzi. That game didn't really matter.
It mattered because they beat you up both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
And you might lose twice against Notre Dame, which is obviously playing Georgia Tech, who is fashions themselves as being pretty physical themselves. And then as far as SMU Louisville, Where's the game? Is it at SMU?
Yes, at SMU.
Then I'm a favor SMU. Louisville at home is pretty tough. I think they've been leaking oil. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know if it's because of the Penn State talk or the extension or whatever. I just go back to Louisville. Like, was it last year? Or when you just putter down the stretch.
Yeah. Kind of Maryland-ish.
Right.
Not quite as bad, but
yeah, but yes. Like right when they's like, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
You just look like a totally different team. I'm gonna go SMU.
You also get Miami at Virginia Tech. Newly minted head coach James Franklin will not be coaching that game for Virginia Tech. Kansas State at Utah, also interesting. And then in the group of 5, Tulane, freshly in the rankings, goes to Temple. You have a James Madison hosting Washington State, and then a North Texas at Rice. Let's talk some NFL, though, when we get back. Texans take down the Bills. Who do you trust in the AFC and the NFC? All that ahead here on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at Schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of scattered showers with patchy fog. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a high around 47. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies and calm winds, a low near 34. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies return with light winds. It'll be warmer with a high near 63. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxbeatlincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into Old School. Off and rolling here halfway through the show. Coming up at 5, Jason Peter in the studio with us. Look forward to that at 5 for a full hour. This segment of the show brought to you as always by Heartland of Nebraska Windows. They are locally and family owned with their own team of installers. They offer free estimates, full window replacements, all vinyl triple pane windows, and a lifetime warranty on everything while keeping their prices affordable. You can learn more by calling 402-430-3852, or you can visit them online, heartlandofnebraskawindows.com. Speaking of learning more, Jay, we learned more about the Houston Texans last night. 23-19, gritty win, still the number 1 defense in the NFL. They must have watched their Jay Foreman highlight tape to get him fired up for that one against Buffalo.
Yeah, man, it was. I knew Houston's defense was good, but last night was pretty special. I mean, obviously, I think Josh Allen trying to force it, or what Houston made him try to force some plays or try to make big plays, really played into it. I think also the lack of sticking to the running game when Cook was really cooking played into it, but it was pretty dominating. And I think that defense has actually kind of infused some energy into the offense. And so it was a big victory for them. It was a ugly loss for Buffalo. They just certainly had their chances, but they did not look good. I mean, when you have, take the play on the field is one thing, but then when you have, a high second round pick and Keon Coleman, 2 weeks in a row healthy scratch, that's letting you know internally there's some things going on. Because and Buffalo's a really good organization, really good coach, got actually pretty good leadership on that team. And you got a guy that you're counting on that's missing meetings late. It affects the whole team.
Yeah.
And you might not know it, but it actually does, because when you're out there and you're not really able to create some separation, or you don't have a guy that can make a play, and a guy that has the capabilities of doing so is on the sidelines. And when you get into a pressure-packed game like that, and, Houston was in full-fledged, attacking, the head of the snake and Josh Allen, it can be demoralizing. Now, also, I would think the frustration has to be for Buffalo and Josh Allen. One thing I would say, which is really commendable, is where he was straight up dude, shows the leadership. They asked him about the 8 sacks, no mention of the offensive line. He's like, I got to do better, which he does. He has to get the ball out quicker, not hold it on to it so long. He ran into a couple sacks. But also got to look at Brady, the play caller.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think James Cook, he had 7 carries, like 77 yards. And then it seemed like 30 minutes went by before you started to try to run the ball again. Because when you have a defense that's pass rushing the way that they were getting after your quarterback against a pretty good offensive line in Buffalo, even though Brown got hurt, who was a really good right tackle, their backup is still, more than capable. You have to run the ball. You have to keep them off balance, and you play right into their hands. So it's a long mini bye week. It was a long flight to Buffalo. But in Houston, they definitely are, feel like they're on the right track, and they're starting to kind of come around. They've dealt with some issues themselves where you had people question DeMeco Ryans as a coach, oddly enough, which is crazy. CJ Stroud, obviously being hurt. And Davis Mills, give him credit. He's came in and held the fort down, been very efficient, and the offense has been, good enough for them to win.
Houston still on the outside looking in of the AFC playoff picture, but they're just a half game back of Jacksonville in the division. Right now, the most likely seed for Houston would be either the 7, the 6, or the 5 in that order. Outside chance of the division, which would get them the 3 seed. Again, just a half game back of Jacksonville. But Jay, if you look up and down this AFC playoff picture, your top 3 teams are still Denver, Indianapolis, and New England. And from the Buffalo standpoint, and I think we can even rope a team like Baltimore into this conversation as well. If you would have told people that at this point Kansas City was going to be 5-5 in a lot of turmoil, losing 1-score games, you would have thought, oh man, Buffalo and Baltimore have got to be licking their chops.
Yeah.
But Buffalo's 7-4, still a good team. And I think more than any of those teams at the top in Denver, Indianapolis, and New England, at least Buffalo's been in the playoffs before, and you trust that they know what it's like to go through that grind, get to that point in the season, and you think there's still enough talent on that team. But then for the Ravens, also on the outside, looking into the playoff picture now, it just makes me wonder the conversation, the vibe in those buildings. Obviously, the season's not over. There's a long way to go. Playoffs are, January and February. Sure. But this would have been a great year for Buffalo and or Baltimore to really establish themselves as, hey, we told you Kansas City wasn't that good. We told you we really were that good. They just found ways to beat us in the playoffs, but we are legitimate. Kind of a bad year for them to have a bad year. They, kind of seems like maybe they've lost a little bit of that tinge of credibility.
Yeah, then they lost that edge there as well, because they would in years past grind out that game against Houston, and Houston ground them up. And so Buffalo's, ascending the wrong way. Houston is descending, excuse me. And Houston's ascending in the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jacksonville, you just never know week to week basis. They'll have an embarrassing loss, and they beat the brakes off the Chargers, I think, last week.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a tight race. And so Buffalo's got to get it together. In the AFC now, that finally that the Chiefs have, kind of came down to reality, same, and Baltimore, right? Because they were the 2 odds-on favorites to, link up them and Buffalo in the AFC Championship. This is a great opportunity for, a Denver or in Indianapolis, or in particular New England. I mean, I think Pittsburgh, their offense will probably hold them back, but it's wide open. It's wide open. Now it's going to come down to matchups and where you play teams. But ultimately, if you're able to pack your defense like Houston's able to, for the most part, Pittsburgh, and then every team I'm looking at right now, besides actually maybe Buffalo, really can pack a dominating defense at times. And so when you're able to do that, you're really able to withstand some storms. Now with Kansas City, this is make or break, and this is this is a byproduct of playing more football than anybody's played over the last decade. Being the closest thing to New England Patriots, in their magical run.
But still having a grind of a division compared to what the Patriots had most of the time.
Right. And then the division kind of flipped over the last 2 years, overnight, right?
Mhm.
You got bringing Sean Payton, obviously bringing Harbaugh. You got Herbert, starting to take off. Bo Nix is better than probably, obviously
Then
Russell
Jarrett
Wilson.
Stidham and Trevor Siemian.
And Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
The organization is better. Denver, they had a
Mhm.
change in the hands of the ownership, more invested. And then, obviously the one that you always feel like is the JV squad is the Raiders, but you can't really not take them serious because the Raiders went into Kansas City, I think, last year and beat them, right?
Was that the Christmas game?
Yeah, I think last year.
Or, yeah.
No, it wasn't the Christmas game because the Christmas game was when they went to Pittsburgh.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, they had the interception, the pick
interception,
six, and
right,
Mahomes.
right.
Yeah.
So, and then also the Raiders have obviously Max Crosby, who's the ultimate equalizer, to anybody's offense. So the AFC is a pretty interesting conference, and who's going to come out of it and who's going to finish. Right now, everybody's like, you got 6-7 games left, and you can think the top two teams, Denver and New England, both are on 8-game win streaks.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long do you extend that win streak? What happens after you eventually lose one? And then how do you finish? And then when you think of like the Buffalo Bills and the Chargers, okay, you guys lost one, and then obviously Kansas City's lost 2 in a row. Okay, at what point in time are you guys going to want to get it together?
One of you has to.
Yeah. They're like really together. Like
Mhm.
start playing some football. And start beating the competition that you might have to play in the playoffs, because all the teams that you're losing to now you're going to see potentially in the first, second round.
Who do you trust in the AFC?
I still trust the Chiefs. They got Mahomes and they got Andy Reid
Mhm.
and Jones. I trust the Chiefs.
Buffalo is sitting much prettier than they are. Do you trust Buffalo versus any of those top three right now in the playoffs just because they've been there before?
I trust Buffalo against all of them. I think Buffalo will beat New England. I trust Buffalo against Denver and Indy too, but I don't trust them where I think it's like I'm gonna be sitting back here thinking like, oh, they're gonna win, like guaranteed.
Phillip Rivers was one possession away from beating Buffalo. People forget.
Yeah. So I think it's tough. I think there's a lot of parity, but you have some really good teams though too.
What about the NFC? Is the NFC any clearer in your mind? The reason I ask is because you look at Philly.
I don't trust Chicago.
No.
I don't trust Green Bay. I just don't. Right when I thought I did. I just don't.
Detroit?
Detroit's reeling a little bit.
Mhm.
If there's a team that I trust this year, it's the Rams.
Mm.
I trust the Rams. Now Philly is still 8-2. That's ugly. You know what this year reminds me of Philly? Is when they start out 10-1 and then they end up losing the first round of the playoffs to Tampa.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
There's just so much going on in that building. Real or fake, contrived or legitimate.
Hey,
like
Austin, there's a lot going on.
Dude.
Whether you got receivers having their back against, I guess, the quarterback, whether it's the quarterback kind of doing his own thing, whether it's the organization kind of still now going back and forth, whether they believe in Jalen Hurts, whether it's trying to keep Jalen Carter under control,
Mhm.
and then trying to get away from the perception that all is horrible when you're 8-2 and you're the defending Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
And then you got a coach that is kind of like okay with it.
I'm going to throw another team out there. I trust Tampa.
That was my second
I don't know how good they are if they're a real player, but they at least know who they are. They at least know what they do. I know they got a bunch of receiver injuries, guys that probably won't come back or help them for the playoffs. But Tampa at least knows who it is.
I trust Tampa. And I trust Baker.
And I trust that Carolina is going to fall off at some point.
Yeah, and I trust Baker. I trust them in the playoffs. Those are probably the only two teams I really trust right now in the playoffs.
Detroit's got new coordinators going into the playoffs for the first time.
Maybe San Fran, if they're healthy. I
see, so there's the key thing. Can you trust that they'll be healthy enough to make it through? And can you trust Shanahan to get to the playoffs? Yes. In the playoffs?
I don't trust them if the game is in the fourth quarter.
That's what I'm saying. So do you trust?
He should run the ball.
If you can't trust a team in the fourth quarter, do you really trust them?
I trust the Rams right now, as it is, more than anybody in the NFC. I trust Tampa second. Everybody else I could do without.
Who do you trust more, Sam Darnold or Daniel Jones? Seattle or Indianapolis?
Daniel Jones and them dang Colts. I do. I like Daniel Jones. I felt like he got a raw deal in New York. I felt like he always, he played under circumstances pretty admirable. Yeah. Seattle's a good story. Maybe ask me that after this week. I want to see how Sam Darnold bounces back.
Seattle has the best point differential in the NFC.
I know, but did you see him?
I saw them last week.
Yeah.
Against the Rams, who are 1 point behind them in terms of point differential. Those two teams are a combined plus 201 on the year. The Seahawks have scored 22 more points than the Rams. The Rams have allowed 21 points fewer than the Seahawks. In fact, that Rams defense allowed only 172 points so far this year. Far and away, the number one defense in the NFC. Still 3 possessions ahead of Seattle and Green Bay in second. And then even if you look at the AFC, Kansas City's defense only allowed 181 points, Houston 182, but in one extra game. That's an incredible defense that we let off talking about there. It's so weird looking at these NFL standings right now in the playoff picture, Jay, with still 6 games to go, 7 for some teams as well. We love that the NFL is about parity. That's why they have the first place, second place, third place, fourth place schedule. So any team can feel like they have a chance to at least get back in the race every year. But for how long we've spent talking about New England into Kansas City and then who the challengers are, have all these new names pop up and not be sure of, okay, the road to the Super Bowl doesn't necessarily feel like it goes through Philly. Even if that's where the 1 seed is in the NFC, does it really feel like they're the team to beat? Not really. And clearly it's not Kansas City this year. It's just a whole new conversation.
Yeah, it should be exciting.
Yeah.
And, right now it goes through Denver, or it's going to go through
Naptown, baby.
Or Indianapolis or New England. And in the NFC, it's a lot different. Whereas, you're looking at the point differential, quiet as kept. Detroit's down there at number 8, and they got a nice little setup there that what they got going on. But it was, I think it was cute. I wouldn't say cute because I know, Dan Campbell, nothing's cute. I don't, personally.
He throws passes to his backup tackle. That's cute. It's okay.
Yeah, but I was saying for him when when he took over the play calling when they were at Washington, was a good strategic move. Last week the offense didn't look nearly as good when he took over it. So how they get on track and how they manage that now with Morton, their OC, Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, and they have all the pieces. That's the same team. Listen, if they figure it out. Now, Laporta's out for the season, but if they figure it out, Detroit's just built. They could come in the back door now.
Are they a surprise candidate to hire Ryan Day as OC in the offseason?
Ryan Day is not going to go nowhere in the NFL and be an OC. It's not happening. Why would you like? He's making what, $8, $9, $10 million?
I'm just throwing something out there.
They need to hire. It wouldn't surprise me if they hired like a college offensive coordinator as the OC.
Jared Goff kind of seems like a limiting principle. You know what he is. You got to hire someone that's comfortable with him because you're not getting rid of him.
You can't. He's won too much, been too productive.
That's what I'm saying. So who in college runs something that's good for what Jared Goff wants to do? Kind of West Coast-ish.
I'm trying to think. I mean, Ryan Day does. But he's not going up there to be a coordinator.
Interesting. The plot thickens.
I think they run it back one more year with Morton.
I think they should.
Yeah.
Game a trial run. Okay.
What this reminds me of is when Slowick was down there with Houston. And it kind of, the first year, we'll see if you can get the reverse and Morton really and Jared Goff, takes off. It'll be interesting to see how Detroit's offense finishes the season because they can run it conventionally.
Yeah.
You can throw it. And you can do all the setup plays and all that. This is a lack of experience. You got to think Ben Johnson was a heck of a play caller, man. Yeah. And it took him a while to get to where he was. They had to build that team around him and Jared Goff in their connection. You just don't replace that or be able to replicate that in one offseason.
Yeah, not overnight.
No, you can't. And so you got to have time. And then you got Shepard over there. That's a hot commodity as a defensive coordinator. Are you really sold on? I'm not really sold on him as a defensive coordinator.
It's been a fine defense.
Their defense has been okay.
But with that talent on that side of the ball?
That's what I'm saying. Even last year with Aaron Glenn, the defense was okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, last year's the injuries. This year they're healthy.
This year's they're healthy.
Different reasons.
Right. And they're just okay.
Yeah.
They drafted Arnold from Alabama, and he's like what on timeout,
sitting in the corner.
Yeah, you brought him in to be man to man. Now you're mad that he gets beat with no help. I mean, it's just so. Yeah, I think they need to get back to Detroit and figure out who they are. It's kind of like what we said about Indianapolis, right?
Yeah,
they had that off season. Everybody's patting them on the back. You were so close, so you think you arrived. And now you're down there at the AC. Now you're hanging on by a string, and you got the Carolina Panthers, coming up, biting on your heels, along with those Dallas Cowboys.
Second in that division somehow.
Yeah.
What a mess. He's Jay Foreman. I'm Austin Norman. We'll wrap up hour 2 of Old School. Get you set up to hear from Jason Peter right after this.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Norman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxblincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
And now, introducing the starting lineup of your Nebraska Huskers, starring Allo Fiber. At number 1, Allo Internet. At number 2, no satellite dish required. DirecTV through Allo. And at number 3, Allo Mobile. Allo Fiber, the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of Husker Nation. Level up your game and go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are wrapping up hour 2 of Old School. Jason Peter on his way in for hour 3 of the show. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you all show long as well. 402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the conversation. This segment is always brought to you by the good folks at Love Volleyball Nebraska. Jay, we got this from the text line, trying to make a little bit of sense of it here from Alan in Lincoln. BYU ranked number 9 right now, currently up 20 and climbing. Actually, on Wisconsin, it's now 86-58 BYU over Wisconsin. Essentially a home game for the Cougars. This one's being played in Salt Lake City, the home of the Utah Jazz. Is there a chance Nebraska men's basketball gets ranked with a win over Kansas State tonight?
There's a chance, especially if it's impressive.
What would you consider impressive? Double digits?
Double digits. And, I mean, if they really look at it, if you can hold Haggerty under a season average,
which is 26.
28. Yeah, is it 26 or 28?
Last I checked this morning, it was 26. Might be 28 now, but
yeah, say you hold them to like 20, high volume 20.
Yeah,
just locked everybody down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you went at 87 to.
Hey, listen, once they're
75.
talking about you having the nation's longest winning streak, they're trying to see what you're going to do.
Yeah.
And so if it's not this week, it's next week. But the biggest thing is when Nebraska finally gets ranked is that you validate it. We've seen that
part,
around here where you got to make sure that you validate your hype that you get.
I'm scrolling back through to try to find it. So Nebraska was not ranked the last time they made it to the tournament. Never made it. So the last time they would have been ranked, it hasn't happened under Fred Hoiberg with the way Nebraska's records looked. Was Nebraska ranked? The last time Nebraska was ranked, Jay, was the week of December 31st, 2018, right before the calendar flipped to 2019. And then Nebraska went into, let's see, where are we looking at number 24? Nebraska, week of 12/31, would have been a win against Southwest Minnesota State. Nebraska went on the road and lost back-to-back games to Maryland and Iowa to fall out of the rankings, yet to return.
That's that dang Iowa.
Well, Maryland first by 2 on the road, College Park.
I remember that. I do remember that, yeah. The hangover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Damn Iowa City.
No kidding. But, man, can you imagine telling Husker fans 7 years ago, it might take 7 years under Fred Hoiberg to get this program ranked? And even that, with a win over Kansas State, is not sure.
Teams that should have been ranked, but when you're scratching and clawing to get in the top 25, I would say I didn't envision it, but also, I think that the program is pretty stable, and Fred's doing a good job though too.
Yeah, and for Nebraska, this is a program that probably has to win 1 or 2 extra games to get ranked.
Yeah, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt.
No. Yeah, right or wrong, just how it is.
Oh well.
Yeah. Jason Peters right behind you. Should we bring him in?
Yeah, we'll go ahead. Take a quick break. We'll come back. Austin Norman, Jay Foreman, Old School with JP in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Hi, Charlie Stone here, and it's that time of the year again. Time for the annual Happy Honda Days at Honda of Lincoln. With me on the line, Andy Goodyear, to tell us all about it.
The exciting news is we have more selection and more savings. We have over 400 new 2025 and 2026 Hondas to choose from, with a great opportunity to get year-end savings on every remaining new 2025.
Do you have some Happy Honda Days specials?
Sure do, Charlie. For example, you can lease a new 2025 Accord Sport Hybrid for just $349 a month, and we have financing from just 0% APR. We've also included over 125 pre-owned of all makes and models, and as always, our certified pre-owns are in this sale as well.
Well, maybe it's time you experience the best. The Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
Join Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, for upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. Get 12% off parts the day of your local event. Can't make it? You can still save 10% on parts and 20% off planter parts December 1st through the 12th. It's the best time of the year to stock up on oil and filters. Grab John Deere gifts for under the tree and schedule your service inspections. Don't miss out. These deals only come around once a year at Landmark Implement. Find your nearest expo at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Leaves are falling and temperatures are cooling down, but don't put your golf clubs away. Double Eagle Golf makes golf leagues and events possible year-round. Winter leagues begin on December 1st and are open for registration. Check out their deals on monthly memberships and schedule your Husker Watch parties, birthday or bachelor parties, corporate or team outings, or just a good old Saturday with the boys. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Book a tee time today or learn more at doubleeagle.golf.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxbeatlincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zip line gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Old School? Jason Peter, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. Coming at you live, 1040 O Street, Penn State Eve, I guess. They'll be kicking off about 24 hours, 20, 25 hours from now. Always enjoy having Jason coming in because he has a unique perspective on a position group that has to play well. But before we get into that, Jason, overall, where we're at right now after the UCLA game, what's your thoughts after seeing Latif and then obviously them going into the bye week, and what's your expectations for Latif and the team coming out of the bye week?
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting, I think, because last time they had a bye week was before Minnesota, right? Yeah, and they clearly were not ready to play that game.
Was between Michigan and Michigan State.
It was after Michigan.
Oh, it was after
Michigan, before Michigan State.
Okay,
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I take that back. Yeah, it will be interesting to see how they come out of the bye week, knowing that they got to have these 2 wins in order to sacrifice this season somewhat, salvage it.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way. Because even with Penn State being down, they still have some dudes on that team.
Yeah.
He say what you want about Franklin. He built an NFL pipeline there, maybe arguably as good as anybody's.
Yeah, for
sure. So they've got some dudes. But yeah, you got to feel good, after the UCLA game in terms of the offense and Latif. Now there's film on them, so that changes things a little bit. You got to be excited. They got their work cut out, though, because the things that Penn State does well, we do poorly.
Right.
Yeah. And on the opposite side of the ball. So those are the things I'm most concerned about. Obviously, the offensive line, Penn State, they got some dudes there. They can move guys. They got 2 really good running backs.
Right.
Defensively, they got good edge guys. That's our Achilles heel on offense. And you know how one good pass rusher can completely change the way that a game's going to unfold.
Yeah, and especially if you don't adjust. And we're going to dive. You brought up some good points, but I want to go back to the bye week because I don't think people really understand how important the bye week is. Yes, you want to get healthy, you want to get rejuvenated. Yeah, you need some time off and rest or whatever. And obviously, we weren't ever able to go back to Jersey or Minnesota. We kind of just been able to stay in our apartments wherever we lived. But talk about the importance of the bye week when you're trying to – now, we were playing for national championships, but when you're trying to finish a season strong, how important the bye week – because I think it's crucial. This one is the most crucial because you see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you see some – I call Penn State a helmet sticker game. It's a one you put on there like we beat Penn State no matter what. Talk about how important it is how you attack the bye week, but then also for this team, how you come out of the bye week.
Right. Yeah. For us, the bye weeks were always about getting back to fundamentals, and that's something, especially as you're getting towards the end of the season here. And like you said, guys are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's things almost done. Well, then kind of the little things can kind of fall by the wayside unless they're a focus during that week of practice. And I think you got to be physical during the week. I think it's a limited one, but there's got to be times where you're still cranking it up, especially for our offense with a new quarterback in there. There's just different timing to everything. The rhythm's a little different, and you just want to be able to build on what you did, a couple of weeks ago at UCLA. But on a defensive side of point of view, it's about tackling, it's about angles, all that stuff. So you can't go so soft during the bye week. You can back off of them in terms of the total amount of, say, plays or reps that you're asking them to do, but there still has to be high quality reps in there.
Yeah, it's because it's huge, because you got to do self scouting, so you have to have that prepared before you step back out on the practice field, and then you have some humility. Okay, this is what we're not doing well, and then we actively have to go fix it, because talking about it isn't going to do anything, because that's what we're doing. But you actively have to address it, and it's hard conversations, but it's group to group, and obviously one side of the ball to the other is huge. And for when you're playing against a team, and essentially back-to-back teams that are going to try to run it down your face, you got to get those things. And it's more, and another thing they have to do is make sure that I think the bye week is crucial to be physical, because it gets your mind right. Because this is a different physical team than UCLA.
Than really anything that they've seen, I think.
And Iowa too.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you got maybe a little bit of it kind of from Michigan, where they could kind of line up and play a little bully ball. But, they also were coming in. They had a true freshman quarterback. They had a backup head coach. They had a couple true freshmen that were just getting the nod at corners. I think, and you look at Penn State, obviously highly disappointing season for them, but it seems like they've kind of rallied around this coach, right? It seems like they like him. They're calling for a whiteout. You got senior day. They're still trying to make it to a bowl, so they've got things on the line as well. And maybe you could say their fight, to get those goals could be greater, because what is our fight, right? Like, we're already going bowling. Now it's just a matter of, it's
which bowl?
Self-respect, right? Like, do you want to finish 7-5 or do you want to finish 9-3?
Right.
Big difference there. You're going to see, I guess, what our kids are made of.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, just because you go out there and you played some road games, and you mentioned the Minnesota game, and Penn State's kind of like Minnesota right now, where how they play, they got to play it tight to the vest. They're going to be physical. They're going to try to run it, and their defense is, even though Penn State's defense, I think, is more talented than Minnesota, that night, Minnesota's defense looked like the dang Texans from last night. So you better get off that plane, ready for a dogfight.
Yeah, and I think that the one big difference in those two games is that Minnesota clearly was down on talent this year, right?
Yeah, compared to
what they have been. UCLA, Penn State, they might still have a first rounder or two. They may have 7, 8, 9 guys drafted off of this team. Minnesota's not going to have that. They better be ready to go. It's I think it's a perfect, I know there was some bitching at the start of the week about, having to play a night game and then, follow that up with a short week. And it's like, and I know Rule was saying, hey, we're going to embrace this thing. It kind of looked like a little tongue in cheek, like, oh yeah, I'm not mad at the conference, but clearly he was. But when you play the schedule that we've played all year, you don't get to bitch about anything. That's the reality of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is like the one tough thing that maybe has been asked of you in terms of a scheduling issue. So I don't want to hear Nebraska fans complain about that. Let's stop. The refs screw us, the conference screws us. Maybe if we get rid of that sort of mentality,
Right.
then the kids don't hear it as well, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Because they can buy into that stuff too. You know,
Right.
I mean, anything that's being said on social media is something that the kids are potentially going to see,
Right.
and most likely do see. So when they feel like, oh yeah, everybody's right, we're getting screwed by the refs, that's why we're not winning. No, you ain't winning because you ain't making enough plays
Right.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean we talked about that earlier. I think the biggest thing, especially for a young team, like you have to be purposeful, and not even mentioning that in your in your facility.
Yeah,
it's got to almost be like locking down the whole place, shut down everybody's phone and all that, just because when you're playing these two games, and sure, we've done this in the NFL, and where you play Sunday and you play Thursday, or whatever, and that's tough. But my thing is, like, you're getting paid for it now.
Right.
Like me and you were, right about now I'm gonna tell people right now, and this is funny. We'll get off a little bit off the subject. Listen, about Thanksgiving, it's my favorite holiday, but it is not when you're in college. When we were here, your scholarship checks was light.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
We weren't getting much anyways, but it was really light,
Short month.
because of the short month. And so these guys are getting well compensated for it. So you got to be able to answer the bell. Then also, I think if you really look at it as a challenge, you get more out of it. Yeah, we got the short end of the stick, but we did what we had to do, and we won both the games.
Yeah, and have some pride on your toughness and your mental strength. You know what I mean? Like, don't cave to that. Big deal. You're short one day. You
Yeah.
know what? And truth be told, if the one day was so important, then you would continue to gain that extra day during the week in the way that you set up practice, right? Like, for example, T.O. set it up where we played the game on Saturday. We had off completely on Sunday unless you needed treatment, you could go in and get it, right? Then Monday we were back in half pads.
Oh yeah,
right?
I remember.
Right.
I forgot.
I know. I'm just going through for the listeners here. As compared to the way that, say, Coach Rule does it, and not just him, but a lot of guys do it. I think the previous 3 or 4 guys maybe even did the same way, where then they had a mandatory light run and jog on Sunday, gave them off on Monday. Then you come back on Tuesday, which is normally for us, it was that was a live day. Do you know what I mean? But you're not bringing them back to go live the first day back on the practice field.
Right.
We had Monday to at least get somewhat warmed up, the bodies.
Yeah.
So you lose basically 13 practices and during the course of a year.
Right.
So you don't get the bitch about one that you're missing. There are things that you could do ultimately to
counteract that.
Yeah.
And you can switch it week by
Absolutely.
week. And I think our Monday practices, with Coach Osborne, they weren't as long.
Right.
But we still
we got after
it though.
Offensive linemen weren't allowed to cut. Everything was up high, but that was like our thud day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was heavy cardio day too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, where we did 2 or 3 gases after practice and stuff like that. So yeah, they're gonna have to, really, really handle themselves up front. And I know you watch Penn State offensive line; they're big, right? They're kind of engulfers.
Yeah.
Now, does that work to Nebraska's advantage? Because I felt like USC's offensive line they were big, but they were athletic as heck. So they can get up on me quick as a linebacker. They can kind of, scoop block you, a little bit easier because they're quicker off the ball, where these guys are just kind of coming out like the old, Baltimore Ravens, where, you just got to be able to hold point against them. Does that bode well for a younger defensive line, or is it harder just because of how big they are?
Yeah. I mean, they're, like you said, they're big and athletic. They're going to run a lot of power. They're going to run zone. They're going to run toss. They like it all. So this is a game. Honestly, it's going to be Nebraska's front seven will decide whether or not we win this game if they're able to hang with it. It's not that I think the quarterback is that great. Obviously, he's their backup as well. I think in the last couple of weeks he's played a little bit better. But back to the offensive line. that's things when you got guys that can ultimately block you, either way and scooping you and or down blocks coming. I mean, you're going to see the whole realm of like offensive line play.
Yeah.
So this is great for the D line. The fact that they had a bye week leading up to this, because sometimes you're playing a lot of games where, especially now with the RPOs and everything like that. And sometimes you don't see as many teams run those kind of traditional, running plays.
Right.
And there's a technique for every single one of them, on how to play, difference between toss and power and counter. And it will depend on how much Butler wants, them to get upfield. That sort of thing. Like if you get upfield, you got to be able to get flat once you get through, once you penetrate, you can't just keep running straight up the field because the running back's already on a different level than you. And you'll be late to that play. But yeah, they all need to play well up front and have some sort of gap integrity, right? Like you got to make it easy on all front seven. You know what I mean? Like be defined in what gap you're playing or you know what I mean? Your responsibility.
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge for the front seven to play consistently. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I want to see this defense do is be invested into being physical, like the whole game. Yeah. And then once you do that, then you get into make sure, especially at linebacker, make sure your pads are square because it makes it harder for the offensive line to move you, right? Don't play on the edge against these guys because they just lean on you and they'll move you from O Street down to P Street.
Yep.
And then also it was a good point that you brought up gap integrity, because even if we're in a 7-man front and we do our job,
right?
If we do our job and the gap is defined, that means the safety or nickel can make an easier tackle.
Right.
It's a hard thing to ask for somebody to come from 12, 15 yards deep, and it looks like he's supposed to fill in the B gap. Then the next thing you know, it's the A gap, and then next thing you know, he's caught in no man's land. That's how I think it hurt him against Michigan, where they had the kind of the right defense called, but it was not really defined.
Right.
If they really worked on that in the bye week, they'll do a good job. Michigan State did a pretty decent job against their run game. We saw your boy Raekwon Buckley.
I know. Rue's playing.
Yeah, he's playing. And so, but the one thing I saw from Michigan State versus when they played us is that they're rotating more guys up front. Right. But the one thing that stood out on the tape was they played with extension up front.
Yep.
And so they were able to, even though they weren't as big as those guys up front, they were able to make plays and limit the explosive run plays.
Yeah, especially when you're playing any kind of zone team.
Yeah.
Because that back is just looking to cut back somewhere. And you can think as a defensive lineman, oh my gosh, I'm playing this thing great, right? I know where the ball's going to run, so I'm just going to get off this block and go make this play. Next thing you know, the running back has already started his cutback. Right now, you're in perfect position for that offensive lineman just to keep pushing you, towards the boundary. And that running back's going to be boom. He's going to hit that hole, and you better hope the linebacker's there, the safety's there. So that's like you're talking about having extension. Yeah, you got to be able to play both ways. Once you got that lockout, right now you got to kind of play with it. You either got to get rid of them quick, or you got to stand in there and fight pressure with pressure, and then ultimately just wait for the boys to come.
Let's flip to the Penn State side real quick defensively, because their defensive end number 33, Sutton, is. I mean, he's a dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's
every game he makes plays. And you played with some really good pass rushers. You were a good pass rusher yourself. Talk about when an offense can keep you off balance by either shifting the formation or kind of, I call it ghost blocking, acting like they're going to cut you and then go to the flat. Talk about how important it is for Nebraska to do that against them, because I think if they just line up and just wave their hand and say we're pass blocking, 33 could have a big game.
So for Nebraska, they
offense,
need to
confuse them.
Well, I mean, especially with him, I think you're going to have to bring some guys in motion and maybe try to chip on certain routes. I know we don't ever really get in the eye, but they're going to need to figure out a way. And I know that even though they want to be 4 and 5 wide all the time, like you got to figure out a way, because 33 will change the game before you know it.
Yeah.
And our tackles have not been good. In a lot of pass protecting when the other team has had a good rush end. Now they've hung in there, against average guys, but when there's a sort of next level guy, and 33 is he's the next level kind of guy. It's created problems. So they need to do as much as they can, kind of even just bringing, like you said, the receiver in motion, because now that defensive end's got to think, okay, is this dude going to crack me?
Yeah.
So now he's got one eye kind of,
looking
at the boundary, and the other one's still trying to, look at the ball, but it's just enough to take a little bit off of, his get off or what exactly he wanted to do.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, when teams flip the format, even as a linebacker, because they have a pretty aggressive linebacker core. They do a lot of run blitzes, and they try to hit the snap, on right on time. When you flip the formation, any type of motion, it just brings hesitation. Because even as a defensive tackle, there's times if I had to change the strength, you had to go from right to left.
Yeah.
It's a good way to keep them off balance. And sometimes you can go right to left and just run it back where you originally were going to go. And so therefore you're creating some dissension in the ranks. They're going to have to do a good job keeping that defensive front off schedule. Because if the worst thing you can do against any defensive line, and this, is probably just line up, because then it's your quarterback's going to be in for a long day.
You got to have some movement back there. D linemen, not the smartest guys on the field, so any sort of confusion, it always would get me, especially at the next level, because in college, I was playing D tackle in college, so it was different. Charlie never really wanted us focusing on whether a back, once we put our hand down, it's hard to see anyway. But at defensive end position, now it's different because you might have to cover that guy on a wheel route or something. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. So had to know more about, formations and when, backs are switching, to the opposite side and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess maybe that's why I enjoyed defensive tackle more, less thinking.
Real quick, did you enjoy when we ran like some of our fire zones? Austin was asking me about that when we got to the pros. We'd already kind of ran a lot of that stuff. Did you? Because you guys, here's what people don't understand: when the defensive tackles used to drop, you guys swore you guys were linebackers. Though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we loved every minute of that. I mean, you as a big guy, you kind of get tired of being labeled a big guy, like you're almost unathletic, you can't do things. So when we started running those fire blitzes, and being able to line up in a 3 technique and then drop, that was fun, because basically then you're just looking for to a tight end or a wide receiver coming across in that shallow underneath area and just boom, be able to take him out. Not as much fun as when you're a defensive end and you're trying to, cover
a wheel route,
Emmett Johnson or Emmett Smith or somebody, running down the boundary. Yeah.
Yeah, it was always funny to see Grant. He tried to backpedal and stuff. I was like, bro, you need to go forward. This ain't it. But it was always a good.
He got the one pick against Michigan State in '96, I think, in Memorial Stadium. I think that might have been some sort of.
It was ESPN.
Remember?
It was dropping. He was going to the fire zone. They tried to cut him.
Yeah.
He caught it pretty good because he always had busted up fingers. So, anyways, we're going to take a quick break, come back. Jason Peter, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
No Shave November is raising awareness of men's health and prostate cancer. Limitless Male wants you to know low T is real. Low energy, brain fog, belly fat, low libido. Your T levels matter. They affect how you function. If you have symptoms, get your testosterone checked at Limitless Male. We'll get you back in the game with more strength, energy, and confidence. When you feel good, you'll wonder why you waited so long for a free consult at Limitless Male.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of scattered showers with patchy fog. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a high around 47. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies and calm winds, a low near 34. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies return with light winds. It'll be warmer with a high near 63. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hey, Lincoln and the surrounding area. Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts is now open at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G and ready to help you improve your general health. If you're experiencing pain, headaches, or any other issues, give Yin and Yang Acupuncture a call today at 402-480-1014 to schedule your appointment. For those struggling with deep tissue pain or just need an experienced massage therapist to melt the stress away, call Rune Wind Healing Arts at 402-601-9721 and schedule your appointment now. Visit Yin and Yang Acupuncture and Rune Wind Healing Arts today in Lincoln at 1701 South 17th Street in Suite 3G.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through November 23rd, enjoy boneless ribeye roast, choice for $19.99 per pound, prime for $29.99 per pound, fresh ham loaf $4.49 per pound, Bush Light 30 racks $17.99 each when you buy two, and bakery fresh pies $9.99 each when you also buy two. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
Back to old school with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What over back, Jake Foreman, Jason Peter, Austin Orman. We need to have like what is it? Would it be a reality show that you just go like in between segments?
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know what that would be.
Dangerous.
It would be funny though. It'd get a lot of views or something, right?
Where's Penn State going with their job?
That's what I was just about to ask you about.
Yeah.
Okay, so Penn State now. Okay, so when they first fired James Franklin, they was like, that's the job.
Right.
Now, when's the last time we ever talked about Penn State?
It is at the bottom of the job opening
Right.
list.
Like, does anybody care right now?
Nope.
So imagine if you're from the East Coast, right? And James Franklin
Yep.
ran the East Coast
Yep.
as far as recruiting in
Yep.
Jersey and everywhere. He's at Virginia Tech. Like, Penn State's not even on anybody's radar now, or what do you think?
I mean, you got to figure that you still have Florida and LSU that are definitely above Penn State. You have Auburn. Above Penn State, Arkansas, which is just as probably just as good,
Yeah.
right, in terms of resources and
Right.
everything. Am I missing any? And then if Lane leaves, then like you said, Ole Miss is going to open up as well, which probably would be considered at this moment a better job. Penn State dropped the ball. I mean, when this whole thing went down, we were saying, even when talking about Rule, if he would have taken the job or if he was in line with the job, like, you got to do it now,
right?
Yeah.
Like,
You got to do it. Like, this is your advantage here. You're the first big boy that's fired their coach,
Right.
and so you've got options now. But once everybody else starts firing, then you never know who's going to fire their coach. And anytime those SEC schools start,
Yeah, definitely out of the news cycle. I wonder if you never know, but if you eventually can connect the dots on who they were going after, right? Signetti re-upped at Indiana, and he was like, "Oh, we can get him." Yeah. He's like, "Nah, I'm cool right where I'm at." Then even what's the SMU coach?
Rhett Lashley.
Whose teams are not even ranked. He got a 5 or 6 year extension or something like that.
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, you got, Austin read the names. It's everybody underneath the sun.
Right.
And all of them would be starting. Now, the only two that would be somewhat, not even somewhat, would be, Pat Fitzgerald fits it. But he's got that. Who knows if you can even get that through whatever. Or was it Brett Key from Georgia Tech?
Yeah.
I mean, besides that, it's like Brian Hartline.
I know.
And,
Yeah, I don't know where the hell they go with this search. And then, are they going to be interested in looking at NFL guys? I don't know. That's kind of got a bad taste to it right now after Belichick has come back. Chip Kelly, Chip went the other way, right?
Yeah.
But I think there have been some other guys, that have come down and not had great success recently. So I don't know. I told you I like that guy from Detroit. I heard him speak, the black dude who's got the dreads.
Oh, Shepherd. Yeah.
Shepherd.
Yeah.
I listened to him speak, at least for the LSU.
Yeah,
is he alum?
He
or
played
coached
linebacker there.
Okay. Yeah. He was impressive when I listened to him speak. But yeah, for Penn State, I mean, I don't know. Does this thing not get done now until past the new year? I mean, you're waiting for some of these other schools now to hire their guys.
Yeah, I mean, what's your opinion if they wait to? Well, first of all, the signing period is when, Austin?
Signing period starts on the 3rd of December.
Yeah, so
they got to have it done before then.
It's got to be right after the Rutgers game, if that. Or do you think they already have their guy, and then they're just waiting? But here's what I'll say this before you answer: whoever they have, ain't winning,
right?
So
or has been out of football,
right? And I mean, the only way that you could really turn the college football upside down if you hire Urban Meyer,
right?
But I mean,
I was thinking more about the Gruden thing. Don't you think Gruden is just more? He's built for the SEC.
He's more,
right?
He's more SEC type, and they can
kind of lane before lane.
Yeah. And he'll get into like an Auburn. And they'll love that for a little while.
I saw something today. Now maybe even Texas is thinking, like they're not going to get rid of Sark, right? Like
they just came out and said Sark isn't leaving.
Well, Sark's agent was the one that leaked his interest in the Titans job.
Yeah.
But he kind of put his foot in his own mouth, right, with that one comment that he made as in his first year, saying, "Hey, if we're in year 4 and I got 3 or 4 losses, then we've got an
Yeah.
issue. Well, you're in year 4,
and you got 3 losses,
Yeah.
and you're on, and you play Texas A&M. They play
Yeah.
Texas A&M. Yeah, so you're on your way to 4. You might be 5. You lose your bowl game. I just don't. I mean, I
isn't
think
that proof right there? Like, I mean, they spend more than anybody, right?
Yeah.
It's not just about spending money.
right.
You have to have some sort of development going on in your program.
Yeah, I think people think that there's. Well, first of all, I was trying to tell you, like, there's not a lot of really good to great football players out there just walking around,
Right.
right? In college, 18 to 22 years old, that are guys that are really football players.
Right.
So if you're just out throwing away money, throwing out money, you can't buy a team. This
Right.
isn't like the Blue Chips movie when you could,
Right.
go get 5, NBA basketball players.
Right.
You got to have a good team. What do you think, Jason? To have a good, like a college football playoff team. So you're going to make the top 12, so top 11. You have to have 40 guys that are real deal, right?
That are dogs that can play.
Yeah, 40, right?
Yeah.
At least because you got the 3 specialists.
Yeah.
So now you're, 37, 38 guys.
You need a couple backups at every position
Right.
that you can count on to go in.
That should be starting, but the guy ahead of him
Right.
is a little bit better.
Yeah.
And you don't get there. You don't get those 30 guys or 38 guys or 40 or even let's say if it's 44 guys,
Right.
out of 105 that can go. You don't get that just by talking to them for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And so that's where you're in, where Penn State, when you look at it, if they don't, I'm just going to give them the benefit of the doubt. They got their guy that they're,
Okay.
I'm hoping
Right.
for them.
Right.
Because if they don't, they're done.
I know.
Because what I think it was also crazy with the fan base and that you got to think. I was with me and Austin. I want your opinion. We were talking about it. Okay, the Joe Paterno thing, whatever people feel like that, but you almost were on like the death penalty,
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So then you hit it out of the ballpark and had Bill O'Brien come in that got it going, and then James Franklin took it and took it to the outer space.
Yeah.
So you really hit the lottery twice. You're not going to hit it 3 times.
No, and they were doing it while Miami was kind of down. So that whole East Coast, that Northeast area, the New Jersey, Pennsylvania, all that stuff. Like, yeah, obviously there'll be Pennsylvania kids that will always kind of look at Penn State as like Nebraska kids do for Nebraska. Sure. But if Miami is humming, or they got something going, and Cristobal, I mean, even though they've had 2 disappointing losses, I think this year, I think people still feel confident that Cristobal is going to have a winner there, right? So now you're dealing with, Miami, because Miami likes to come up there in that Northeast, and they like to recruit up there. So it's one thing doing it when Miami's down, but when you have, Miami that's strong now, you better not, if you are Penn State, because Penn State normally is like the school in that tri-state area.
Right.
But if you're struggling, then and you let Miami get a foothold on that region, then you're in big trouble.
Yeah, because I mean, now Ohio State's close. Indiana's probably going to come recruit some of those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody recruits nationally,
but
now,
they'll start to get them,
right?
Though versus and also one of the jobs that we didn't talk about that potentially could be open is Florida State.
Yeah.
So now
that's got to be coming, right? That's got to be. How many years do you have left on it?
Norvell's been better than Fickle, and he costs more.
Yeah, it's
Fickle got he got
another year.
He's
another
back.
year though,
and they're giving him more NIL.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on Luke Fickle?
I don't know a ton about him. I know he was a name that was brought up when we were talking about coaches here. I mean, he did a good job at Cincinnati, right? I kind of vaguely remember him as a player. He played D tackle, right?
Yeah.
Him and Vrabel were together.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't watched a ton of Wisconsin football this year. Truth be told, I just, since they're not really on our schedule, I just didn't watch a ton of them this year. It sounds like, obviously, what's his name? The AD or the Alvarez likes him, right?
Yeah.
Like, so he's come out and Alvarez doesn't like it when, people venture too far off of the old school way.
Yeah.
And I think people are obviously now venturing off, and it's so easy to turn on your guy after a year or 2 years now. And I just think that he obviously, being a former coach, former player, he understands everything and probably feels like, I'm sure he had a ton of influence on him landing there, right? But I don't know. You like him as a coach, or
I think he's a good coach. I think his idea of what he was going to do was good.
Yeah.
The problem is you don't have the guys.
Right.
I think what he was in theory, like what he envisioned, was potentially going to be what could take Wisconsin to the next level.
Right.
The problem is it became a free for all for NIL. Yeah. They didn't have any backing. Yeah. They didn't change their entrance academic standards. Yep. So then now you can't get those fringe players. And it didn't work out, and you kind of ran through a couple offensive coordinators, and every year they got their quarterback got hurt.
Right.
So then, you're really just fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, I don't even know why academics is part of the equation anymore, right? I mean, these kids literally don't go to school. If anything, they take a few Skype classes or something like that. But like, who are we kidding? Like these kids are strictly coming for who's giving them the biggest bag.
Yeah.
Why do we even have academics as a requirement?
Especially for athletes,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, just call it what it is. This is semi-pro sports.
Yeah, and you need to attend the online classes so we can babysit you or something. Give you they just need certificates now. What's your certificate in?
Yeah.
I think Luke Fickell will be all right, but we'll see how it goes. And then Norvell, I think it's a financial thing. I don't know if Florida State can afford to fire him and the staff. Because you got to think, you brought Tony White and all those guys. They probably had 2 or 3 year contracts.
I mean, Tony had to have been getting close to $2 million a year, right?
And it was probably more than 2 years. Yeah. Probably 3 years, you know. So I think that's where he'll get one more year and see where that goes. So that's when you think about Penn State. If they don't, like I said, for them, I'll just assume that they had everything buttoned up and they had their guy and they've had him for a while and they're just waiting for the press release. But if they don't, you might as well forget it.
Right.
It's going to be the ghost of firing Frank or Jane Franklin.
Yeah. And then you're ultimately going to hire someone that you're not in love with, and it's just going to start this cycle.
Yeah. And as college football is starting to increase the parity and expand, it's the worst place to be in.
Right.
And especially with us, we know. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to ask Jason about the West Side Millard South game because you were there last week. Get your thoughts on some of the Nebraska talent and how good both those teams were last week. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, Jason Peter. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service, bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Acreage owner getting ready for winter? Make it easy with John Deere compact tractors and gators from Acres Equipment. Add snow blowers, front blades, cabs, heaters, and loaders to tackle every chore. Right now, in-stock units are priced to move with competitive financing to fit your budget. Get winter ready today at acres.com. Acres Equipment, your acreage handled. Financing subject to approved credit with John Deere Financial. Not all customers qualify. See dealer for details.
Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA teaching professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
What's it take to be a mentor with big brothers, big sisters? It takes 30 minutes and a cup of coffee. A video game, best 2 out of 3. It takes sharing thumbs up emojis, clapping emojis, and loaded nachos at halftime. That's how you make an impact on a young kid's life. So go on, share a few hours a month, because mentorship may sound huge, but the truth is, it takes little to be big. To learn more, volunteer, or donate, go to bebignow.org.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
and electrical.
This Black Friday, it is time to hit your goals before the new year even starts. At Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, get 40% off our next 10-week challenge, plus 6 weeks for free to kickstart your fitness journey. Start training December 1st with kickboxing, strength training, and personalized nutrition. So when our official challenge begins January 10th, you're already ahead of the game. Spots are limited. Don't wait for January to make your resolution. Start strong now. Visit fxbeatlincoln.com or stop by one of our 2 locations at South 40th and Yankee Hill or North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Stronger starts here.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Jason Peter. Quick segment here before we send you guys off to the, I guess, Friday night, and then obviously to the weekend.
Where'd you send people off to?
Oh, the corner 3.
Yeah.
Against your boy Bigelow.
Yeah. Big Game Bigelow is here.
Big Game is there, man. That dude is the ether man. He went out with a bang. Did you know Bigelow?
No.
Yeah. He made his exit from Twitter and just blasted everybody that he had a problem with before he left.
He's a Lincoln guy, or is this?
He's an Omaha guy.
Or
He's an
Omaha.
He's an Omaha guy.
Yeah.
Bigelow.
Yeah.
It's his first. Does he have a first name, or is just like Madonna? Like
he's just Bigelow.
Yeah, just go
Big
Bigelow.
Yeah,
Big game Bigelow.
Big game Bigelow.
And
Yeah.
he talks a lot about Husker football, or just
He's as Jay Foreman would say, he's a can man.
Yeah.
Everybody can.
He gave everybody the business, and he's like, "All right, I'm done." And went. Now he's resurfaced. But Jason, you were up at Westside last week with Miller South going against Westside, kind of state championship in the semifinal.
Yep.
Both teams stocked with big time Division I talent, both in 26 and 27. Give your overall thoughts of what you saw, because I mean, obviously Miller South got after Westside, and Westside's a pretty good team in itself.
Yeah, it was impressive to see all the talent on the field, and obviously, they like you said, they both have kids going Division I, but you could tell even between those two schools. I mean, Millard South out there, they just they didn't have the way I explained it to you. I was like, there wasn't like a 5'10", 175-pound guard on their all line.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't any sort of weak link. Like, the D line had all kind of guys that were probably at least 240 and up.
Yeah.
The ends were probably at least 220, 230.
Yeah.
Solid, maybe bigger. But yeah, I mean, there was just no visible weaknesses that you could be like, okay, well, Westside should attack that guy. It was impressive. And I mean, it was, I don't know what the final score was. We left like it was old Nebraska game, leaving after third quarter.
Yeah.
Because it was just getting out of hand.
Right.
I mean, Westside didn't have an answer for him.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd you think of him?
He threw some dimes in there. I mean, and they were not, kind of corner routes in the end zone, and from like 30 or 40 where he had to, he dropped it in there. Nice. I mean, he threw a lot of good balls. He was impressive. I was not expecting that sort of play, I guess. I don't know why I wasn't. But he was impressive. He had total control of that offense. He throws a really good ball, really accurate. You would have hoped that he would have had some conversations with Nebraska at some point.
Yeah, he's going to Bama. Jet Tamala. His dad, I think, was a hooper, but he's athletic too. He's a big kid though too.
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5".
I was expecting like a skinny kid. And
Yeah,
he's not.
No.
He's thick.
Yeah. And they had the big tight end going to Missouri, and then they got a lineman going to Illinois, and Marion Jackson going to Iowa State. He's number one, and
he was good.
Yeah, and then the running back, going to Illinois, Wheeler. So they're stacked. And then Westside, they got Woo Woo's son and Jamel's son.
Now, is he a junior?
Yeah.
So he's got another year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be good for him.
And then they got a good running back too.
Yeah,
little dude.
Yeah,
but he can play though. He runs big.
I mean, the most glaring, I guess, mismatch was just on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Whereas, not that Westside's bad. They're better than 99% of the other high schools in the state.
Yeah.
But against Millard South, it was just, the 210-pound guy or 215 just, playing against 270-pound guard or whatever. It just was, there were some mismatches in there.
Yeah, it's a pretty talented game. And
so who do they have now?
They play Creighton Prep, right?
Creighton, which barely kind of just got by.
Papio South.
No, they played Papillion
Papio
South. Yeah, okay, Papillion La Vista South. It was kind of an upstart, right? They got some good talent too, and they'll be competitive. One thing about those Omaha kids, they all know each other, but I mean, obviously Millard South probably
is the kid them. Is the kid guy that's coaching Millard South. Is he from Nebraska?
Yeah, he's the new coach now. The coach that was there last year moved back to Arizona, and coaches kind of one of those like bigger time schools now.
Chandler, big time one.
Chandler, yeah. But this guy, I think he came over from Papillion La Vista, I think, or one of those schools, and just kind of rinse and repeat.
Impressive.
Yeah.
It's not to get all back into that whole should they recruit or should they not. Obviously, they're doing whatever the rules allow for them to do in some regard. Taking advantage of those gray areas.
Yeah. I mean, they got kids coming in from out of state, and it's obviously working out because You know, I will say this before we go: those Millard South kids, the core of them, they've all had a plan this is what they wanted to do. They went and they traveled around the country and they played for kind of a national championship. And
they've been doing it since they were kids, right?
Yeah, and they've been going
this wasn't just last winter they decided.
This has been since like 4th grade. The majority of those guys have been going around to Oklahoma and playing teams and kind of getting prepared for it. So it's good to see that whether you like it, love it, or hate it, they definitely put in the work the old school way to get it. So anyways, once again, old school, Jay Foreman, Austin Norman, JP. We'll holler at you next week. If we don't, happy Thanksgiving as well.
Yeah.
And obviously, hopefully the Huskers win.
We'll talk to you tomorrow too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got a pregame show. So we'll holler at you tomorrow.